Miles Byrd on San Diego State basketball here in the 2 o'clock hour to get things rolling. We have a daily Gambit. We have a fantabulous sports game show.
Can I just interject here?
Sure.
It's going to be one of the best fantabulous sports game shows ever.
Love it. Love it.
The category.
Are
everyone
you feeling
out,
that energy, Scraby?
Here's the thing.
No.
Everyone's going to love the category, and everyone's going to have fun trying to guess the answers. Not just you two, but everybody out there. I think it's a great category, and you'll understand why when we get to it.
Is it holiday themed?
No.
Oh,
it is not.
I was gonna.
Is today a holiday?
No, but I was gonna brush up on my Santa's reindeer.
Oh, I see. That would only be 8 answers. That
I don't know
much
if Tony
of a
can
game.
do it.
What's that?
Do you know all of Santa's reindeers?
No.
Rudolph,
Dasher, Dancer,
Prancer?
or Dasher, Prancer, Comet, Vixen,
Blitzen,
I always like Blitzen.
Donner.
I thought it was Donner, but I kept saying Donahue in my head.
Like,
But
is it
there we
Phil
go.
Donahue?
That was actually more sad than I thought it was.
Did you say
Yeah.
Vixen?
I
He
did say Vixen.
All right.
I would struggle in that category.
Yeah, that's not the category.
Good.
It's not the category. So
Glad to
we're
hear.
good there.
Well, should we start, guys? I think there was some heartbreak.
We got to wave goodbye.
There was some heartbreak last night.
night.
Kyle Higashioka is no longer with the Padres. Yes, he has moved.
Wait a second. Let's let it sink in.
Yes,
That was it? I thought it was a longer cry.
there you go.
Better.
Yeah, so,
I think it hurts a little bit.
yeah.
It hurts until we find out what AJ has in mind. But right now, you don't have a catcher, and you look at it and you go, $13.5 million, not incredibly expensive, and we loved him, and he was great with our pitching staff, and could pick up right where we left off. So I see people already reacting and saying the Padres, should have anteed up here. But I really don't think you can totally criticize the Padres until you find out what their plan is and who it all ends up with.
I'm going to go to our numbers guy, Matt Scraby.
Thank you.
Matt, do you know what Kyle was making last season?
2.5.
$2.5 million.
I didn't know that you were the numbers guy, but okay.
You know how you say, it's time for you to start reading up on some of this stuff.
Wow.
That kind of got under Scraby's skin. He was called the numbers guy.
I
and
was
didn't get
so
the numbers.
proud. I was so proud that Tony came to me, of all people, to do
Well,
this.
he knew darn well that I wouldn't know the answer, but in this case, I did.
Well, I just want to preview on the Scraby
Surprisingly.
show. I spent an hour and a half this morning breaking down AJ Preller's catching history
Yeah.
as a GM of the Padres.
And
And
now-
what he spends, and on average what he
Right.
spends, and that's at 620.
Okay. So Scraby, this
On the Scraby Chronicles.
This is
Correct.
You're not going to let people in on that information on this show.
Not
fine.
all of it, but I can give you some
He's gonna give
previews
it
of
little
it.
crumbs.
I will tell you guys this. AJ Preller's strategy to me seems like we'll find the good value catcher and hope to get by. In the last couple years, it's worked for him because
Ask
he got
yourself this.
Gary Sanchez and he got Kyle Higashioka all overperformed.
Yeah, lightning in the bottle for Gary Sanchez.
Twice.
I think Kyle Higashioka figured something out. Like, because his struggles were early, and then he really
Right,
was.
when he first came to the Padres, he was exactly what we thought he would be, as a guy that fill in once a week and catch and not be heard from.
That's
Chris
right.
tried to DFA him.
He wasn't the only one. There was a bunch
I
of
don't know
people.
that I did that. I just said, if you're going to be on the team, you might as well
Contribute a
contribute.
little
Okay,
bit.
he did
And he
say
got
that.
the message,
And
apparently.
he did, and he was
Yeah.
good the rest of the way. It's so good
Yeah.
that he took over the starting catching position.
Yes,
so
he did.
that is going to be a loss in some ways. But, what is that? He got 5, you said? 5 mil? 6 mil?
5.5, 6.5, I think it is. I've read a couple of different things. I also saw 13.5. I am very numbers oriented on this particular subject.
I love it. I love it.
The point being, as Chris said, I think you said it perfectly. We can't really judge this until you figure out exactly where the Padres are going. I do see some panic setting in a little bit
Oh, yeah.
on the X world out there. We couldn't have. People are assuming that
If we can't afford him, who
we
can we afford?
that has been the most prevalent thought
Yeah.
on the internet. But listen, I just think you got to let these things play out. I mean, the off season seemed as though it was just okay for the Padres at one point last season.
Yeah,
and
it
then
turned out to be pretty good.
Turned out to be pretty
Yeah,
good. So
it is really hard to project even though we think we know.
Right. It's December
don't.
3rd. We ain't even really got popping yet on like the signings yet.
Let me
there's
ask you
been a few.
this. Let me ask you this, Tony, Scraby, and then all of you out there. If it came to April and the Padres catching situation was where it is now, Campusano, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw the clip on Twitter.
He leaned on
Monster
the ball.
home
He leaned
run.
a monster home, but the big thing that I noticed and was pointed out in the tweet,
He had a regular
he's not.
stance.
He doesn't have that open stance anymore. He was
He
squared
kinda-
up to the pitcher.
He kind of started to move away from it towards the end of his tenure with that
he's
24 season.
He's going to have to figure something out and change it up if he's going to get this job back. But let's just say it's Campusano, and they go through training camp, and they bring up Ethan Salas in spring training, and he hits okay, and they break camp, and they say Ethan Salas is our catcher. Is that even – because I know a lot of people are bringing this up, so should we just completely squash that and say don't think about it because it's not going to happen?
I would.
Okay.
I would. I know he had a great fall league,
Yeah,
but that's a long way from being able to
the big leagues.
do that at the big league level.
I think people need to be ready to not know what's going on with the catcher position up until spring training, because last year
Absolutely.
Luis Ariz was acquired after the season started, and Dylan Cease was right before the
You
season
know
started.
what else AJ Preller does that has done a lot in his tenure is sign guys when spring training has already begun.
He
And
likes
so-
that.
I mean, at that point, you know where everyone's value is, and guys are, to be quite frank, if you don't have a job by the time spring training rolls around, you're kind of itching to get a job.
You might be a little more desperate.
Yeah, no doubt. So
Yeah, I'm not ready to overreact.
I
to
don't
this
think we
one.
should. I
But I'm
really
going to
don't.
miss Higashioka because that season would be welcome by a catcher any season.
Every year.
I mean, that was
Every year.
really a great season that
And
he
he
had.
is probably one of the nicest human
Right up
beings on the planet Earth.
right up
I
there.
enjoyed our interviews with him. Do you guys know, since AJ Preller took over the team,
Oh, he's
who the-
going. You giving up one of your numbers right now, dude?
No, this isn't really that,
Okay.
but who the highest paid catcher throughout that tenure has been?
Yes.
Who?
I don't know. I
Wait,
have
you just said yes, though.
I know.
Yes.
I'm basically joking with
Oh,
you.
gotcha.
I have a guy in mind, and now his name just, one of those
the
where
highest paid
I thought of
catcher.
who it is. Tell me who it is, and
Oh.
then I'll tell you whether I was right or
Oh,
not.
it's my man who was on Oakland A.
Yeah.
Derek
Derek
Norris.
Norris.
Derek Norris.
Wow, you
That's
guys
who
are
I
pretty
was gonna
good.
guess. That
Yes.
was the name.
I
just
believe you,
slipped
Chris.
me.
I believe you.
It slipped me. Yeah.
You know what's funny about Derek Norris?
$2.92 million for Derek Norris
I-
in 2016.
I remember as an outsider at the time when he came to this ball club, he was looked at like he was about to be like the savior.
Yeah. Well, he
Gotta be
wasn't.
careful. Right?
He wasn't.
Gotta be careful.
Oh man, second
With all due
Jorge
respect to you,
Alfaro.
Derek, out
Sorry.
there, you were not the savior.
Jorge Alfaro, second highest paid.
Yeah, I understand Padre fans, but I think Tony hit a good point. Don't just assume because they didn't spend $13 million to bid on Higashioka that means they don't have any money.
Right.
That is a wrong assumption. I mean,
I don't know. It could turn out to be
You're
a
right. It could be that they just don't bid on anybody, but I really am not expecting that.
Me neither.
And they have, Preller and this, they've proven that they have plans.
I think
and I think he's got a plan, and maybe he might have put his own number on Higashioka and said if he goes over 10, then we're gonna have to let him go. But that means they're not going to buy anybody else.
I think that AJ and his staff has earned the right for us
I think
not
so.
to panic on December 3rd.
Yeah.
Maybe January 3rd.
It's better
You can
sports
panic
talk
a little
radio
bit,
if you
but-
panic, but it's not accurate.
We'll
It's
be
not.
back for the new year, from the new year on January 6th of the show. Guarantee you I'm panicking at that time.
if
I've
there's
had
nothing-
2.5 weeks not talking to you guys. There's going to be panic.
It's gonna all settle
I
in
bet
at once.
you're right. I thought the same thing. Like AJ Preller always figures it out some way, somehow, and he has the last few years with the catcher. Now the lightning in a bottle thing does make me nervous because can he do it 3 years in a row? Kyle Higashioka got a $3 million raise.
I honestly think if AJ and the Pods have it their way, Campy will figure it out. That's probably what they would like to happen. Because finding catchers out there it ain't all that easy. Like you got to trade for one, I don't know that there's any, outside of Kyle, who's now no longer a free agent. Not sure that, that there's guys available. Like, who are the free agent catchers?
Woods has thrown out this name, and it's traveled throughout the day. Danny Jansen
From Toronto. Or
Red
formerly.
Sox. He was the guy who played in the
Toronto.
same game
They
on
did
the
that
two
gimmick
different teams.
thing. Where
It wasn't a gimmick. He was traded.
It was a gimmick.
Let me
Carl,
Brawny was it?
Yeah,
I
fair
have
point.
one thing to say to you guys. I'm really upset that you guys forgot what I told you less than a month ago.
I definitely forgot it.
Yeah,
I'm
me
really
too.
Tony, you
Supposed to
forgetting is
stand
not
out?
really an upset.
Supposed to stand
But
out.
Scraby remembers everything I've ever said, except this. Luis Campusano will be in the All-Star game
That's
next
right.
year.
I do remember
Mark
this.
my words.
I do remember how crazy that was.
Yeah, maybe not so crazy.
Hey,
Maybe not
that
so
would
It's
be
not that crazy.
best case scenario.
I heard
Sure.
that from at least two people going into last season. So I don't think it's that crazy.
Right.
So maybe it was
He's
just
got
a year
the
early.
skill. Let's
He
see,
definitely does.
somebody's gotta
We saw
unlock
it
that.
early.
Yes.
We saw it early.
Yes, unlock it and keep it going. I think this guy's capable of hitting 11 home runs before the All-Star break.
What about his defense?
It's not good. It's got to get better. But defense is something, let's just start with Tony's dad, that can be improved.
No doubt.
I mean, and I think he works as hard as anybody. I think a lot of it got into his head.
There's no doubt to me that
You know.
the offense kind of bled into the
It must
defense.
have. It must have. They
Because
always
he
say
had
it
shown
won't, but
he had shown improvement early, and that was also when he was swinging the bat well. And then, what happens for Campy's still a relatively young player in this league, and what happens when you've been quote unquote given the keys, and all of a sudden you struggling, and all of a sudden pressure's being applied by your backup, it can eat somebody up, and it seems like that eventually ate him up. And you kind of need the offseason to kind of reset. You can see him building his confidence in winter ball right now. And I think that's a good thing for him. So we'll see how this kind of all shakes out. I think the point being on this segment is that it's too early to panic. Quite frankly, it's too early to really understand where and what the Padres are trying to do, what the priorities are right now. Because it's not as though the catching spot is the top priority in all of this. It's probably
it's far behind left field. It's far behind another pitcher, and it's far behind whatever you're going to do over at
First
shortstop,
base, right,
fourth
shortstop,
stop,
right.
yeah, whatever.
100%.
Far behind now.
And so
agreed.
We'll get into. We got a lot of baseball stuff to really get into. Blue Jays may be considered the highest bidder.
When did they become one of the higher spending teams in baseball? They
always have had. They've had money. They just the last 2
Toronto's
years have tried
big
to
city.
spend it and more, I guess. Which goes into the conversation we've been having about this whole deferral and teams deciding when they want to spend, when they don't want to
I
spend.
wonder if the Blue Jays wanted to defer. Remember, Shohei was on a plane to Toronto to sign that
That's
contract.
what we thought. We had the jet number and everything.
And then the stalkers were like, nope, Shohei's sleeping in his bed.
Who did it turn out to be? It turned out to
Oh,
be
it was Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank.
Shark Tank guy.
Yeah, it was his plane. That's so weird and funny at the
That's
same
how
time.
crazy we are.
I don't think that they could confuse him with Juan Soto this time.
I don't think so.
It might have to be one of the other Shark Tank guys that flies
You
to
mean
Toronto.
Shohei's
I
6'5" frame?
I
didn't give it away.
I didn't think they could confuse Shohei, but they did.
I don't think Robert Herjavec is very big, but
All right, off to a great start. Let's get to break. When we come back, we can go a bunch of different ways. We can go NFL. It was actually a good ball game on Monday Night Football. We might tap into that a little bit. Maybe some more baseball stuff on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris.
All right, welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 2:21 is the time. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. Odyssey Palace Studios, San Diego, California. Monday Night Football last night, 41-32. Always fun. Looked like Jameis Winston was going to win it. Looked like he was going to pass for over 500. Finished just shy of that.
Not if you include his interceptions.
The interception yardage was over 600.
668 to be exact.
Yeah, man was balling.
He
last
was.
night.
He
Broncos
was.
made a couple of big plays on defense. I saw that somebody lost a fantasy football game because after the final interception, Bo Nix took a knee.
Oh,
That's minus 2 yards,
hang with him.
and somebody lost that. Yeah, that can happen. But Jerry Jeudy had a triumphant return. I don't know where that Jerry Jeudy has been the rest of the year. Apparently, he has to play against his former team to do something.
He's
That's
warming up.
back-to-back weeks, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
he's
had
warming up.
Big week. I always enjoy a guy going back to places where he struggled and like
Lighten it up.
lighten up. It's unfortunate his team lost, but he still got to
He
light it
didn't
up.
seem to care about
He
the loss. He was like, I had my night. That's the kind of guy I want on my team.
Here's his last.
I got my 235. Hell, I had a great game.
Here's his last 5 games,
He
including
did
last
seem
night.
like he was unbothered by it.
No.
235 yards, 85, 142, 73, 79, and 2 touchdowns
So
mixed
he's
in
been
there.
turning it up for
And
a
he's
little
caught
bit.
at least 5 passes in all 5 games.
All right, I
So
have,
he likes the Jameis Winston change of quarterback.
Yes, he
doesn't
What
he?
it is. I'm going
I
to ask you
have,
guys in the Big 5. Why
I have
that is.
Jerry Jeudy as my 4th or 5th receiver. Would you
So he's
would you
scoring on your
place him
bench a little bit right
yes,
now.
would you place him ahead of Devontae Adams or Smith and Jigba
Who are they playing?
or Jaden Reed?
Right now,
Jaden Reed, yes.
Playoffs are coming up. Jaden Reed had a great game against Miami last game.
True.
2 touchdowns.
I don't know. He's kind of riding a heater right now. You got to at
Maybe
least
get him
entertain
in
it.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm entertaining.
Devontae, I got Devontae too. I don't like taking him out, but he is not really helping me.
He's not been great.
That's why I'm in like last.
I have an issue with our fantasy football league that I'm so happy we started talking about this.
All right, well, let's move on then.
Real quick, I am battling for the last playoff spot with Chris's wife, Lori. If she loses and I win, I go to the playoffs. If I lose, she's in. But she's playing Chris's godson, Connor.
You think Connor's on the take?
He has guys that are on bye in his lineup right now. So I
no,
need.
It's
no
Tuesday.
way. Connor's
He's
I've got nervous.
Never mind.
Connor's been in our league for how many since we started?
He's won a couple
He's-
of championships. He's legit.
yeah,
he's not
he's-
gonna. He's
he's
not gonna
stand
hand the
up.
game
All right,
over.
stand up.
All right,
First
just
of all,
wanna
I
make
won't
sure.
let him. I won't
Yeah,
let him.
Thank you.
I thought about it.
Well, you are.
I thought about it because it would keep you out of the playoffs.
I know. That's why
But-
I'm like scared because
No.
there's some back channeling
They will
going
not.
on between you three.
The back channeling will be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I will make him play.
Thank you, Chris.
And he will play even without me saying anything.
And I'll probably
So,
lose, and it won't make any difference. Anyway.
That could be the final case. Contracts for Blake Snell, Tommy Edman has now increased the Dodgers' obligations for deferred payments to more than $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Yeah. So, Tony, I know you were talking about this a lot yesterday. We were talking about it yesterday.
I had a good discourse on
And you had
on
a good
X.
conversation last night
Yeah.
with somebody. So repeat where you stand on this, because it does, on the surface, it's bothersome to a lot of, especially Padre fans, who think the Dodgers are kind of circumventing, the rules or the issue here and getting an unfair advantage. I think when you think of unfair advantage, just understand that the Dodgers have that to begin with without the deferred payments. So live it and deal with it, is the way I say.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? But I don't on the other end. I just think when we're talking about the deferrals,
Yeah.
again, everybody can do it. And you know what? Kudos to them for kind of figuring this out before everybody else did. There's no – I guess I take an issue with circumvention or cheating. Or,
Tom Brady did this many years ago, and it helped the Patriots win
Dude's a big-
6 championships.
Here's the deal. Nobody
He was doing it all the time, and no one else was doing it, but everyone was complaining about him doing it.
100%. He was just the sole guy doing it, right?
Everybody
And-
else could have done the same thing, but nobody stepped up and,
And in
said, I want to
football-
do that too.
In football, it's a little different because there's a salary cap, and typically the quarterback is going to be most of your space.
Right.
And so by him giving money back, it's a significant thing. That's why they were able to stay competitive for so long. Couple things. Dodgers have done a good job of identifying guys or selling guys on the fact that deferral is the way to go in order for them to be competitive. It helps the player from a personal standpoint. When they retire in whatever,
money keeps coming
they're
in.
going to have money coming in.
No, it's not, because the Dodgers are going bankrupt. Ha ha! The joke's on all you guys.
Of course, that is the downside. If the
Could
Dodgers
happen.
go bankrupt,
Yes, you're
them
in
guys
trouble.
ain't going to get their money.
Right.
I think the other thing is it may feel like this is starting to be a wave that I don't know existed in the 90s and 2000s. And the reason why, I was explaining to Chris, I mean, your biggest contracts weren't big enough to be deferring. Like, if you're getting 88 over 8 years of a deal, or whatever it might have been at that point, 4 for 60, that's not money you really are going to defer. You want to bring that in.
Yeah.
These guys are making
so
much money. Like, for instance, I think it was Edmonds, right? I think he's deferring $25 million
out of like a 74
out of a
million.
he's still got $50 million to play with. Play is the wrong word, but I'm just saying he still has $50 million coming in over that time.
Hey, Tommy, I expect a once-over makeover for the entire La Jolla Country Day campus.
And
They don't need that, Chris.
and when
No,
he's
you're right. It's a nice campus already.
And guess what? When he's done and he can't play anymore, he won't have to work. He can live it up.
And I'll be making $25 million a
and
year.
he's making
then.
$25 million to do nothing at that point. And you know what? That's just the way it broke. If the Padres or the Giants or the Yankees, if they find the right guys, listen, everybody's signing right now, not with the Dodgers. We ain't getting reports of them deferring money. They getting all their chips.
I don't think Juan Soto is going to be raising his hand.
He wants all of it.
See, I also think the person, as you guys said, makes a huge difference. Tom Brady, we can't look at him as like this generous man when he's making more money off the field than he is on the field. For him to make money off the field, Tom Brady had to take a discount to win. Shohei Ohtani does not have to worry about money at all.
It's funny because in Tom's case, him taking less to win only made his off the field money even
That's
more.
what I'm saying.
You know
You
what
have
I'm
to
saying?
invest. Tom was smart enough to know that he had to invest back into his team to make the most amount of money on the outside.
And just given what we do know about Tom, he likes to win. So I'm sure that probably was the leading component. in all of it, right?
Everybody likes to win until somebody says, "Would you like to defer your money?" But here, let me just ask this: is it even possible for the Padres to go to Fernando, to go to Darvish, to go to Machado, to go to all the who else has the really long contract? Xander. Go to these guys and say, hey, would you mind deferring some of your money so that we can use it to buy guys? And
I think it would.
To me, they'd have to do it behind the scenes because it would really look bad if somebody said no. So I don't want to know about it.
Right.
We're
Like
negotiating with Manny.
you know what would happen if
put
it
it in
came
the
out that
newspaper
somebody
saying-
said no.
Right. Manny was asked and said no. That would not
Which
go
is his
over
right,
well.
by the way.
Of course it is.
So to answer your question, I don't think it's likely. It might be possible, but I mean that would take renegotiating the actual contract that you already signed.
It's already
so
done, yeah.
I don't know that would be ideal for any of those guys at this point. But that being said, guys coming in, and listen, at this point, what's done is done, right? The Padres have signed Manny. They've signed Darv. They signed Bogey. Who else? They signed Toddy. So that money has already been allocated in those specific years, right? What the Dodgers did was, if you know, remember they didn't go after anybody to free agency before Ohtani. They basically set it up. So they basically set it up so that they didn't have any contracts that were big deals beyond a certain point. And so when they went into this idea, and this at this point seems like it was strategic. It doesn't seem like they just stumbled upon. They had a whole offseason almost to prepare for this. They set the plan in motion. Ohtani, who was the first domino to fall, I believe, or no, it was Glass now. Who was the first deferral. Once you start selling guys on that, and you get one, and you get two guys to do it, and they see that the team is working the way it is, it seems like it's been a well executed plan by them to do these deferrals, and it all starts after 2028, which by the way is when that big TV rights deal they signed in 2014.
It's another reason they can do this.
This is where they deferred those payments till after 2028. So guess what? All that money, that $1 billion you're talking about in deferrals, that'll be paid for by that TV contract.
They should take each team's revenue, have some formula, and this is the amount you're allowed to defer a year.
Here's what I'm not sure of.
Scraby trying to put a Dodger rule in.
The Dodgers, Yankees, whoever those teams are, they cut a check to the bottom tier teams and they pay them for it. What I don't know is the TV deal, which I want to say it's not a part of. I think because those are TV deals owned by those particular teams. Yankees.
Oh, I see. I see. That would be a part of the revenue.
I don't think that's a part of the revenue
take that out.
sharing.
Take
right?
that
you know
out.
what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think the Dodgers, obviously, they've already had a leg up because of the money that they are able to spend. They were just quicker to the trigger on getting to these deferred payments.
Yep. Well, when you get beat, you got to ask for a rule change to try to stop them.
It's true.
And that's
a good point.
That's what we're left holding the bag here.
As I said on Twitter, there's one or two things that can happen.
They're showing the Dodger notable contracts right now. Ohtani 700, Mookie 365, Yamamoto 325, Blake Snell 182, Freddie Freeman 162, Will Smith 140, Tyler Glass now 136, Tommy Edman 74. That's a lot of money on that
Now
board.
the interesting thing is I don't think Betts was in that. He's not in a deferred payment company.
Actually, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, he's owed $115
it goes all the way back.
So they started this however long
And
ago.
somehow it was secret.
Yeah,
wasn't-
Freddie
it wasn't-
Freeman's also deferred.
It
Will
wasn't
Smith
secret.
is
We
also deferred.
We just didn't know about. So they've been planning this even longer than
I
that.
think
then.
$680 million deferred is what got everybody's attention.
That's right.
Not
But the point
the
is,
$50 million.
The point is, you should have been paying attention earlier. There were signs of this with what? Betts, Freeman,
Will Smith. I mean, those guys signed contracts a while ago, and were 115 Betts, Freeman 57, Will Smith 50, all deferred money for all three guys. So they've been
I
working.
wonder how it got out to begin. I mean, I guess it was because
It's,
Ohtani's money was so big, it had to be reported, right?
That's right here in
Yeah,
black
but he
and
doesn't
white.
know what's going on with his money, so.
I knew you were going to say that. All right.
I've been thinking more and more about this, and that 76-day window between Ipe getting caught and him pleading guilty really bothers me.
All right, we're going to break before it bothers you more because we're late anyway. Miles Byrd, Aztecs basketball star, on a team that has caught our attention earlier than we thought. Next, Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and Woods on the
for Aztecs. Back in action.
Too low, Tony.
It is too low. It is too low.
Our next guest is going to do something about that.
No doubt about it. He's already done a lot of work here in the short
he
season
has.
to this point.
Yeah.
Miles Byrd joins us here. Guard, 6'7" guard for the Aztecs. Miles, how are you, my friend?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Of course, sir.
I'm trying to figure out where we start. Let's just start at the last game. You guys are going up against a tough Houston team. Just from a physicality standpoint, you guys matched them all game, but when it came down to crunch time, the ball was in your hands, and you made a couple nice plays, including a reverse lefty layup. Just talk about that game and getting to that point in the game where you just knew it was time for you to do work.
Yeah, I think when you play in the game for so long, I think I logged 37 minutes of that game. You kind of get more and more comfortable as the game goes on. You start to realize what they're giving and what they're not giving, and I knew they were blasting the ball screens the whole entire game. So once I blasted, I just went back to where the big was trying to get back to our big, and he happened to not see me yet. So it gave me the opportunity to Euro step and get to the right side of the hoop. But I mean, I loved how we came out and played against a big physical Houston team. They're notorious for being a defensive rebounding team just like us. And I wouldn't say just because they're a power conference that they get more respect, but I think on the national side they get a lot more looks than us. So yeah. I'm glad we were able to kind of show that we're the same exact type of brand, and that's what our program stands for.
Yeah, we've been more successful than they have in March too. So let's not forget that. Miles Byrd is with us. Miles, how do you guys get the belief that you can go beat the number 6 team in the nation when you're just coming together as a squad? To me, you have to believe you can win before you can win. I know you guys came home after the Oregon game and then went back to Las Vegas. Take us through those 48 hours and what the coaches said, what you guys said amongst yourselves going into that Houston game to say, we're not going to back down.
Yeah, I think, one, for us, I don't think that there's anybody in our organization that had a single thought that we were going to lose the game. We're a confident group. We're young, got a little bit of swagger to us. So I think every single time we step on the court, I know if we have our group together, we think that we have a great chance to go win a game. But I think coming home for, looking at it, my parents live in Vegas. Taj, Pharaoh's family's from Vegas. So, at first, I was a little frustrated that we were leaving, that we weren't staying in Vegas. Like, I wanted to be with my family. They were all out there. My grandmother was out there and stuff. So it would have been some good family time. But looking back at it, I think we benefited the most from it just because, when we were in the MGM the first few days during the tournament, I didn't even see the sun outside. Like, I didn't step outside not one time because, I mean, you're walking straight from your room down to like the little bottom of the floor where the arena is.
Yeah.
So we're staying inside the casino the whole time, and I think it was just beneficial for us to get back to our own beds, have a good team meal on Thanksgiving, and get some team time. Everybody else was still stuck in Vegas, not leaving their hotel, I would assume. So we were able to kind of get more refreshed, and we looked a lot more fresh than a lot of other teams that ended up staying out there, You
really did. It was noticeable in the game against Houston as well. Aztec guard Miles Byrd joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Miles, I was unfortunate. You mentioned swag. I unfortunately missed the interview last year, but I went back and listened to it. And one of the things that stood out in that interview last year was you just seemed like a dude that was really confident and was just waiting for your opportunity. You fast forward to this year. And, some injuries have kind of, I think, thrust you a little bit further to one of the guys that I think Dutch looks to. I mean, where did that confidence come from, and how have you been able to really grow it into this role that you're in this year, which is a lot different than the role you were in last year?
Yeah, I think confidence just really stems from hard work. I mean, I've been around basketball my whole entire life. My dad was a Division I basketball coach, so I was pretty much born in the game, and I feel like I've watched so much basketball that it's hard for me not to be confident. I know what I'm capable of on the court. I know what my teammates are capable of, and I think we just go out there and we execute the game plans that our coaches give us, which is, normally crystal clear and perfect for our opponent. And, when you have a good preparation and you have a lot of hard work that you put in, it's hard not to be confident.
It's a left-handed thing, Tony. You wouldn't understand.
Definitely,
there you
lefties
go.
do better.
There you go, buddy. Miles Byrd is our guest. Miles, at the end of last season, and you guys get the Sweet 16, and then you say goodbye, to Jaden LeDee and everybody else. How are you feeling and thinking about this upcoming season? And then, Dutch and everybody goes out, gets all these guys to come in. BJ Davis now has emerged.
Yeah,
how did you think?
Amazing
Yeah, right. Yeah, how did you think then, and how do you think now?
I think that mentally it was never any worry about what we were going to look like on the court. I've said this multiple times the past few weeks. Like we're a Coach Brian Dutcher-led team, and I've been fortunate to be here for 3 summers, so I know the type of preparation that summer is looking like, and I know we're going to be a good team every single year. So for me, it was mostly just the fact that I had just lost some of my closest friends that I've been in college with, been away from my family with for the past 2 years. So I would say that was the biggest adjustment for me, trying to build stronger connections with the new guys. But I think we're molding super well, and I think the sky's the limit for what we got going on over here. Ranked top 25. If you would have told us that this summer that we wouldn't have Reese for this early stretch in the year and we're still a top 25 team, a lot of people probably look at you crazy. I would have looked at you with a smile and been like, I knew that.
And there's that confidence once again. Miles Byrd joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Miles, you talked about that preparation that you guys have, and it seems like Dutch keeps us at bay every year. Wait until the calendar turns, and that's when we'll be playing our best. I think you guys have kind of changed that expectations after this past weekend. You beat Creighton by 18. You beat a team like Houston. Does that shift anything from you guys thinking, or this is just business as usual? And not only that, this could be considered somewhat of a trap game after going from Houston to playing Fresno State here. How do you guys regroup and kind of set your sights on Fresno State here tomorrow?
Yeah, I think for me, just helping out the newer guys, we got some guys who come from conferences where the bottom teams normally are teams that aren't very competitive. But in the Mountain West, no matter where you're playing at, any away game, any home game is going to be a competitive game. So just kind of remind these guys that this isn't the easy one coming up tomorrow. Fresno's gotten a week to prepare for us, so that they're going to come in that game ready, especially on their home court. But yeah, I think we just have a mindset as a team that we might get that national recognition now, being ranked top 25, but we still haven't earned anything. We still got a lot of work to do this season, still got a lot of games this season, and every game is getting us ready for ultimate goal, which is March Madness. So I think just coming every day without an ego and, just get to work.
Yeah, he sounds like a guy that plays on a really successful team. He does. They're taught well. The coaches, we have these guys on the coaches. We get where they're coming from, and the message seems to get through. How much motivation did you guys get, if any, on being picked 4th in the league, on being not ranked at all, not thought of at all? You talked about it. Houston gets so much more play. San Diego State goes to the final game, Sweet 16, and then everybody says they're going to finish 4th. Do you guys think about that, or do you use that? Does Dutch and stuff use that?
You hear about it. I heard about it a good amount of times, and some of the interviews I was doing early in the year, they would ask me about it. But I wouldn't say we come into practice every day with a marker on the whiteboard saying they picked us ranked 4th. I think we're very confident in the group that we have. I think we know that when we attack every day that we're only going to get better. So yeah, you can look at it a little bit, but at the end of the day, I don't think that flies through my head any single time on a game day.
Well, Miles, you guys are off to a terrific start. Game tomorrow. We certainly we'll continue to love watching you guys get better and better as this year goes along. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll catch up soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Miles. Thanks.
Miles Byrd, combo guard, 6'7" combo guard for the Aztecs. And I tell you what, even listening to the interview last year and even listening to him now, he's even more polished than he was, even doing the interview.
Yep. And you look at his team. I was looking at the stats while we were talking to him, Tony, and Miles Byrd, guard, is second in rebounding.
Yeah.
You know who's first in
I
rebounding?
believe that's B.J. Davis, isn't it?
No, the point guard, Nick Boyd.
That's Nick
He's
Boyd, excuse
first
me,
in
yeah.
rebounding.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're two guards, Boyd and Byrd, and they're 1-2 in rebound.
I got the guards mixed up, but that's what stood out. It was that there's two guards that
These
are leading
guys
the way.
are doing what they have to do. I think Jared Coleman-Jones really stepped up, but the guy that drew everybody's attention, we should have asked him about it, but we didn't have time. But Farrell Compton,
Yeah, man.
hey, I don't think anybody saw that coming. And then he has that breakout game against Houston, and that's just another weapon they have now that I don't think we felt that they had before the season started.
Compton was playing with an edge. I mean, he looked. It looked like if he would have put a Houston jersey on, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference in terms of the physicality. I mean, that's how physical he was at times, bullying their big man.
Well, I think Ziegler,
And that's a freshman.
either Ziegler said this or wrote this, but it was something like Compton has played in high school his whole life. Now he comes in, and they let you play a lot more.
He said it on our interview.
He said it yesterday, and he's like, "Man, this is fun. Like I can
I
hit
can
a guy
do
and
this?
get away with it now." So
I mean, with the name Pharaoh, you have to bring it. Come on.
Yeah, well, he brought it.
That's a pretty awesome name, I gotta say.
well, he was also the Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Week for his efforts, and I want to also congratulate on the ladies' side, Nat Martinez, the freshman guard. She has won that award now 2 weeks in a row. So she's doing a hell of a job on the
Aztec
other side.
hoops, both sides, showing out right now.
We're having a
ladies
nice
and
start
gentlemen.
to the year for sure, Tony.
We got a little few minutes. Blake Snell right now is currently doing his press conference.
And he's wearing.
Sorry.
You know what's hilarious about this?
The timing?
No, it's not the time. The timing was funny too, but man, where was all this at when he signed with the Giants last year?
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that.
I think we did.
No, I don't think I heard.
I didn't hear any of that.
that.
I didn't hear any of that when he was nice enough to come on our program all the time when we introduced him and I said, "Here's Blake Snell." I don't remember hearing any of those boos.
On the Scraby show, I said I like Blake Snell, the person. Like the baseball player wasn't for me. I'm not sad that the Padres didn't get him back. I'm angry that the Dodgers got him.
That's what it. If you can't have him,
Why
you don't
couldn't
want
he have been
anybody to
buried
have
in
him.
Minnesota with the Twins or something like that?
I can't see Blake going to Minnesota.
Not only is
After
Blake
he got a taste of San Diego for leaving Tampa, it was only a matter of time.
He's a
before he-
California guy now at this point.
Basically. The only other place I think he could have ended up in is Seattle because that's his hometown.
Yeah.
But
He's wearing number 7 with the Dodgers. Number 4 is retired by Duke Snyder,
yeah,
the Hall of Famer.
he couldn't
So
come out of pocket to get
we
that
were
one.
we were surmising though that Scott Boras may have asked to see if they could exhume the body of Duke Snyder.
I think he may have.
And see if they could get that changed, but no.
We're
Duke's.
exhuming bodies now.
Well,
I mean, the Dodgers can do anything.
I don't think
so.
it's beyond Boros to ask something like that. But no, Blake will be wearing number 7 in L.A.
We still have not figured out what Blake gave Will Myers for his number 4 when he came here. And Will said he's going to keep it to himself. It must have been something great or not appropriate.
Good.
Do you know?
Good for Will.
Do you know, Tony?
I know nothing.
He sounds like he knows something.
There's an interrogation about to happen in this room.
We got to get to break. Daily Gambit up next. See how we did. More Gwynn and Chris.
Jr., Matt Scraby, Gwynn and Chris, hour number 2. Full 4-hour show today ahead of the Scraby Chronicles. Let's start the second hour with some potentially, I think, good news, according to the Sporting News.
I thought we don't pay attention to the Sporting News. They were the ones who gave Jackson Merrill the Rookie of the Year.
So maybe we should pay attention to them because they're also saying that Walker Buehler could be headed our way.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm just saying.
Come on, Sporting News, get it right.
Get
please.
one right. Yeah. I mean, Walker Buehler would be a hell of a pickup for a year. I mean, the Dodgers can't. There's no way Walker Buehler goes back to the Dodgers now. After they just got Snell and they got everybody else.
And they paid Snell too. That's an insult.
Remember the Dodgers, and I love teams, by the way, how they word things to the media. They said, "Oh, well, we didn't offer Walker Buehler a qualifying offer because we wanted him to be able to go out and test the market."
Yeah, that's like the Giants telling Saquon Barkley, make sure you call us before you sign, Saquon.
Saquon, I just saw on the internet you're with the Eagles now.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this yesterday.
Well, I don't think we talked about it on air. I think you brought it up,
Yeah,
I thought we should mention it. And now I see this from Sporting News. I'm like, okay, this is good to see.
I think he would be great with Ruben Niebla. I really do. I think he would fit in with this group of guys.
Do you think he'd be a little bit?
I've had to look at those tight pants a little bit more, which is not my favorite.
They might have to buy a couple of extra water coolers in the locker room because Walker does get a little upset from time to time.
He can snap on you. Sometimes you need a couple of them dudes in your rotation.
Don't you think he's a guy you want to sign because A, he'll help your team, and B, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder against an in-division team? I mean, he's got to feel slighted by the Dodgers. He has to.
I think
he just helped them win a World Series.
Listen, what I learned about Walker, at least in his struggle this year, is that he's pretty brutally honest. I mean, he wasn't sugarcoating the fact that he was struggling the way he was. I think at one point he said, I didn't even know if I was going to make the playoff roster. And as it turned out, he ended up being probably the most important piece on that staff. But I think it's a good signing for two things. Let me stop saying that. I think it would be a good signing. For two reasons. One, I don't think you're going to break the bank to bring a guy that, if you're getting the guy who pitched in the postseason,
right,
is a top-tier arm in the league. B, I don't think you have to lock yourself down for a bunch of years with it. I think he's in a position where there's still a little proving. I think, obviously, the postseason helped. But he had an atrocious regular season. And remember, I think they shut him down when he came back at the end of last season, when he came back initially. So there's an element of him still trying to repair, some of the damage that was done in terms of his performance. And so, to your point, Scrape, he may not have a chip for the Dodgers, but he's got a chip for himself in general.
For the future.
For to making his future better. So if that's the case, if it's something that ends up happening,
it would be a prove-it year for him.
It would
what
be,
you're saying,
100%.
and that's always a guy you want.
I do. I think so.
Well, I would have to make amends with myself because I'm not a big Walker. I root against this guy every single time.
He's also had Dodger blue on his whole entire
his
career.
attitude, I've hated it forever. He's kind of dominated the Padres to a certain extent.
That's why you need to get him on the team.
Well, I'm just saying I'd have to get past a few things.
I'd help.
But Tony is, you've kind of sold me.
I'll help you get
on
past
this
it.
idea. So.
At the end of the day, the Padres. We were talking about priorities and how catching isn't one of them. This is a high priority for the Padres this year. So whether it's Walker Buehler or whoever it ends up being, it's something that certainly they're trying to address.
All right. We got results, winners, losers, daily Gambit.
Chris is like pointing at me.
Well, I want to make sure I'm not leaving
It's very strange.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Before we get into it, we have to talk about the Survivor or Eliminator pool that we had going for Gwynn.
We got
Chris.
anybody left?
For the belt.
We do. 2 more. The same two are
Same two.
still alive.
Wow.
One picked the Cowboys and one picked the
Chiefs, I think you said.
Yes.
They
Chiefs.
lucked out on
he
that
saved that one, and it
Yeah.
almost came back to bite him.
Well,
Now,
you could have said that about the last 7
Did
weeks.
we ever
for
figure
Chiefs.
out who these 2 contestants
No,
are?
I haven't.
Come on,
So-
people. Get in touch with us. We can't
I will say I haven't
monitor
checked
it on the
Instagram in a
website.
couple days, so it might be in there.
Is
I'll
this
go
where the
check that
belt is
tonight.
going?
This is where the belt's going.
Come
You're
on,
winning
it's
a belt.
it's a nice belt,
And
man.
can I maybe get ESPN to let the manager of the whole thing see who these people are? It's ridiculous that I
Right.
cannot
We can't
see or message them,
yeah,
which
we
I
can't
guess is
access-
a privacy thing.
We
but-
can't access you on the internet. That's why we're asking you to come forward
Yeah.
and say, hey, I'm one of the 2 people still alive. That's it's pretty
So we're
impressive
still
that
going.
you've got
It's
to
very
week
impressive.
14.
Very impressive. Next thing, Tony, real quick. A guy like Blake Snell who pitches for 1 year in San Francisco, where does he live? Does he buy an apartment or does he rent an apartment for a year? Does he stay in a hotel? I've always wondered this.
Blake, it depends. If your family's with you, you're probably renting a house or a condo. If your family's not going to be with you, you may go with the apartment route and get some extra bedrooms in. It really depends on your family situation.
Thank you for answering that,
You're very welcome,
Mr.
Greg.
Real Estate Agent Tony Gwynn Jr. to the MLB Stars. All right, let's get into the bets from last night.
Could you imagine Tony trying to juggle all the things that go along with being a real estate agent?
Well,
no,
here
I can't say that.
I just imagine the MTV Cribs and Tony walking fast down a hallway because they sped up the image. You know what I'm talking about? Where they always like scoot to the bedroom. All right, Denver last night -6.5 on the spread over the Browns. Chris and Tony chose the Browns. I chose Denver. Denver did end up winning by 9, 41-32.
That's a hang with them, right? You're down by 3 and you're driving. You think to yourself, I can't lose the bet.
Right.
Except the pick 6.
Bad beat.
That's a bad beat.
Bad beat is right.
Good beat for you, Scrape.
Yeah. Who had more passing yards last night? Bo Nix or Jameis Winston? We all chose Jameis, and
I'm
we
glad
were
I
correct.
changed
You
it,
did
'cause
change it. I mean, Bo Nix would win most weeks, I would think.
My
but
guy
Jameis
almost
Winston,
threw for 500 yards.
497 yards last night.
That's
Bo
crazy.
Nix, 294, a respectable 294. However, he did throw 2 interceptions, but the team still won. We also
They weren't pick sixes. They weren't pick sixes.
I will say
No, that's true.
I will say his touchdown pass from the 3-yard line or 7-yard line, the laser that was caught at midfield by Mims and he ran the 93-yard. That was a great pass. I don't care who threw it.
I didn't see it.
I mean, if that was Joe Namath, they would have put that pass in the Hall of Fame. It was an unbelievable throw.
All right, do I
I
need to
thought.
start asking Tony to come prepared to the show because he hasn't seen
I didn't
that.
see
He hasn't
that-
seen the
I
Chiefs
didn't see
play.
that touchdown, man.
Come on, man.
Listen.
No, it was a great play, Chris, and it was
Can't
a great
catch
throw.
everything,
It was a great throw.
It really
Bo Nix
was.
might
Must
be
say.
for real.
Nah,
He might
he's
be
26. He should be.
for real. I don't know why that bothers Tony so much, but it does.
I like Bo Nix. He just plays for the wrong team.
One more thing
True.
on Jameis Winston, the 27th most passing yards ever in an NFL game. It's not bad.
Just a 27th?
Yeah. Well, there's been 25 guys that have thrown 500, or 25 instances of over 500s. He was at 497. Very
Oh,
close.
someone on our chat took care of Blake Snell's house when he lived here. He lived in Point Loma.
All right then.
Give
Rushing,
my Jameis Winston on.
eating the W, but he
the W.
can't. He's
Well, I
got to
guess
eat the L. Rushing plus receiving. Was it Nick Chubb or Jerry Judy? Chris
Yeah, that was
chose
close.
Chubb. I chose Judy. Chubb had a nice 45 yards combined.
Yeah.
Jerry Judy had 235
Yeah,
yards.
you guys win that one. Easy.
Now here's where it comes to an end for me and Tony. Nevada Wolfpack minus 11.5 over Washington State. Tony and I chose Nevada. Chris chose Washington State. Washington State won by 11, 68-57.
Outright win. Steve Alford, what are you doing? You're hurting the conference's resume. Lose
Yeah.
those
This will
games.
eventually be a conference foe right here.
That's true, but not
Not
yet.
now, though. That's no good for us.
The Timberwolves last night played the Lake Show. Chris chose the Wolves. I am done with betting on the Lakers because I never get it right. They Wolves are 7.5-point favorites. Wolves won 109-80.
80's almost impossible in this day and age, I must say, in the NBA, Tony.
Ant-Man. Who scored more, Ant-Man or AD?
This was the dud of the year.
It was.
Easily.
Who scored more points? Well, Tony
Not
and I chose
Ant-Man.
AD. And so I went and looked up AD first, and I saw 12. I'm
I
like,
did too.
there's no chance he wins.
Exactly.
Then I go back to Ant-Man, and he's got 8 points.
What the hell?
And they won by 29. Was
Well,
it because he didn't play a lot or something?
No, well, they were up, but LeBron shot the ball terrible.
Dismal.
We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show.
Next segment, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
It's our time to get Tony to.
Yeah,
He's
the
sad.
Lakers scored 80 points. I mean, there's,
Yeah,
just,
like I
there's,
said,
there's just not a lot
Teams
of
are
points.
getting that much in the half
Right.
now in the NBA.
The Hockey Club and the Dallas Stars, Dallas -1.5 on the puck line. Chris chose the Hockey Club. Chris wins. Dallas won, but 2-1. They didn't win by 2. So there you go.
All right, Chris went 4-3, Scraby 4-3, Tony 3-4. That's how the week starts. Let's get into some of today's action. USD basketball struggling, playing at Arizona State tonight. 20.5 points. That's a pretty big line.
Yeah, I don't think they cover that.
You don't think ASU does?
No, ASU covers. I don't.
ASU covers. Tony says ASU.
What is it, Forks?
20.5. I like to support the Toreros, but when you're getting beat by, what is it, Ryder and Mercer, and I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know. ASU, Bobby Hurley's not a great guy. He's Dan Hurley's brother, so.
Wait, time out.
How did Bobby Hurley get in?
Is he not a
Arizona
good guy
State.
because he's Dan Hurley's brother?
No, he's not a good guy because people have told me he's not a great
Okay,
guy.
all right. I was about to say, is he
And the
just
fact
guilty
he's
by
Dan Hurley's
association?
brother doesn't help him. Yeah, I shouldn't say he's not a good guy. He's a psycho on the court. That's what I meant to say. But
I
I'll
mean,
still.
I guess that kind of runs deep.
that
then,
runs
huh?
in the family.
I know.
take-
I couldn't
Yeah.
stand Bobby at he was a Duke point
When he
guard.
duked, yeah, that's
God,
right.
I couldn't stand him.
All
He
right,
was
so
good.
you're supporting me here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take him. I'll take Arizona State. I don't think USD's got it.
Yeah, USD's got to prove it to me before I bet on them. So ASU.
We're all going with ASU. UCLA basketball tonight. I can't stand the fact that this is a Big Ten game, home to Washington. Like my whole life, that's been a Pac-12 game. Now it's a Big Ten game.
That is strange.
Who is this?
UCLA home to Washington.
That is very strange. Actually.
12-point favorite are the Bruins. I'm going to take Washington just for fun, but I don't know much about these teams. Scraby?
I'm gonna take Washington.
Oh, also. All right, Tony?
I refuse to take UCLA because of,
All right.
Dave Marcus.
Dave Marcus. So give me Washington.
Wow, a sweep. Denver over Golden State tonight. Denver by 5.
Anybody out?
Scraby up.
Draymond.
Yeah.
Draymond's out.
Draymond hasn't
Pretty
played
sure
for a
he's
bit.
out.
The Warriors seem to be coming back to the pack a little bit.
Yeah, they started really.
They're old.
Really
This is what
well.
happened. You got to
They're
come on back.
old. They are.
they are.
Golden State's down to 12-7. They've lost 4 straight.
Ooh.
Denver is 10-8.
Oh, I think Curry's been out too, hasn't he?
I think he was back recently.
Okay.
All right. There's our analysis of
Well,
the game for you. Who we
shouldn't say
picking?
that.
Scrabe?
Oh,
Denver
me.
-5 at home.
Let me just go make sure Steph Curry is playing before.
I'll make my pick.
Okay, go for it.
Denver.
Denver, Tony says. Scraby, it's still your turn. Come on.
Come on, I'm trying to see.
This is like
It makes the entire thing.
No, it doesn't.
If Steph isn't playing, I can't fight it fast enough. So I'm gonna go with the Warriors.
Warriors. I'll take Denver. Clippers. No, I'm going to pass on the Clippers. I like this one better because Scraby likes these. Cleveland hosting Washington. Now, Cleveland has finally lost some games. They're 18-3. 2 of those losses were to the Hawks, of all people, after they lost their first one to Boston. But Cleveland still has the best record in the league. Washington has the worst record in the league. They're 2-16. The two meet in Cleveland tonight with the Cavs favored by only 16. Is that too low, Tony, or do you think the Cavs
are facing Washington
at home?
You know,
Cleveland by 16.
What I have been seeing a lot of, Chris, is Kyle Kuzma's comments from last year when the Washington or when who was it?
The Wizards.
Well, no, it was who was somebody hadn't had a win last year, and he made the comment about don't be the team to give them their first win. And now their team is at the very bottom of the NBA.
They're 1-8 at home and 1-8 on the road. Man, they're bad.
2-16.
He gets double losses every single night he plays because he shows up in the ugliest outfit imaginable.
Yeah,
he loses on the fashion
show.
He wore a pink sweater that was too big one time. It was ridiculous.
That turned into a meme everywhere.
It did. It's
He was
ridiculous.
like a
He's
blimp.
undeterred because he comes back the next time.
Back with it.
Yeah.
Give me. Ooh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Washington stays inside of 16.
16. I'm not. Scraby.
I'm not. I will go with Cleveland.
Cleveland. Here's a women's NCAA game. USC hosting Cal Baptist.
This is gonna
California Baptist. You can't say Cal
say
Baptist.
Cal Baptist.
Well,
they don't like it.
I said it in an entire broadcast last week because we
Surprised you're
played
still
there.
here.
This
the
is
Aztecs
gonna be a beatdown.
The Aztecs beat Cal Baptist, and Cal Baptist now is 0-8.
Yeah.
USC's favored by 45.5.
They have the best player in the country on their team.
I don't know about this. She's off to a slow start. The team has not played as well as people thought. Scraby, you're first here.
They've also had a tough schedule to start this
True
season,
that.
too.
45.5 points is a lot, but
Who's better?
Who's better in
Paige
I
Beckers?
said the best player in the
maybe
country.
Paige. Paige might get this
got a
nod.
hot start. I see her all over at ESPN, so I assume that she's doing good things.
I like Paige. She could hoop.
I'm going to go USC.
Yeah.
Tony, all three of
Trojans.
us there, giving 45.5 points.
Oh,
Seems
by the way,
ludicrous.
Draymond's out. Steph's a game time decision.
Thanks, Steph.
Nah, you're okay, Scrabe. You can't change your bet. You already made your bet. Get out of line.
Wagers.
Yeah, one more. Shay. I never
Shay.
get his name right.
Shay.
Shay Gilgeous Alexander.
There it is.
Shay is home to Utah.
Oh.
Giannis is at Detroit. Which of the two scores more points tonight? They both have the
Giannis.
same spread.
Giannis.
Tony can't wait. He's going with Giannis. Okay, Scrabe.
I'm going to go SGA.
SGA. I think I'm going to go Giannis. He's been taking over games lately.
They've won 8 straight, right?
Milwaukee, 6.
6 straight. Okay.
6 straight. Giannis is doing Giannis things.
I'm so
by
happy
the
they
way,
decided to play.
By the way, I didn't mention the Wizards have lost 14 in a row coming into the game
man.
tonight. That sounds
What's
good.
the record? Didn't the
2 and
Rockets
16.
approach? No, I mean the record for most losses in a row. Didn't the Wizards approach that years ago?
Maybe last year.
Or the Rockets, I mean. I'm sorry.
I don't know. The Wizards have been bad for a long time. The worst team in the Western Conference, surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, Zion's Pelicans.
Oh, duh. By the way, sorry to overshadow that. It happened last year. 28 games with the Pistons. They lost in a row.
That's who he was talking
Yeah.
about. Was
Oh,
the
you're talking
Pistons.
about the streak of losses.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But wait,
Pistons.
what about Zion?
I'm just saying his team's in last in the West, 4-18. Of course, he's not there to help them get out of that.
He wants to play for the Knicks. So
That I would highly suggest you don't want to play there. Because if you show up
You
there
miss a
and get
game
hurt,
there.
it's a wrap. Just ask Julius Randle. They don't-
Stay in New Orleans and just be, yeah.
This is definitely a case where the grass isn't greener on the other side if you're not prepared for it. All right. It's
I'm
you.
up. Yeah, we got a good Fantabulous game show. I mentioned it. I don't usually say it ahead of time, but I think it's a fun category. It's at the bottom of this hour. Until then, we'll check traffic and some more next.
From the 97.3.
There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, so he's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You've hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. Actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! Ah. We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after.
It was a 5-footer.
After our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him, but we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble, and Chris is playing well, so he's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well, so. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
We are leading 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! Ah. We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after.
It was a 5-footer.
After our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him, but we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble, and Chris is playing well, so he's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well, so. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
.325 short segment. Got a fantabulous sports game show coming up next. Shout out to Coach Bolin. You might be asking who that is.
To who?
Coach Bolin.
Coach Bolin, okay.
Scravy tried to call me out for not watching. Which game was that?
Not being prepared.
I was.
He didn't just call. I mean, he went full bore.
He went full bore,
yeah.
and
said you just were not prepared.
Coach Bolin had to step up for me.
I received a tweet.
He
in the
received
break.
a tweet in the break telling Scraby where I was actually at.
The reason he was not watching the Monday night game was
because I was at a parent-player conference.
That's right, Scraby.
Opening season for boys and girls soccer. So although my daughter was at her club practice, I had to be a good parent and show up. And
how dare you be a good parent when it comes at the expense of preparing for Scraby's show?
So take that, Scraby. Take that for data.
Yep.
We haven't heard that one in a while.
Take that for data.
Yes, I felt pretty stupid. I read it and I was like, okay, well, Tony was actually doing something productive. The reason I got on your case is because I get on Chris's case all the time, so I had to be fair.
Trying to be equal-handed there, huh?
Yes.
Well, it didn't work out for you.
One thing I don't like about the Broncos, besides Sean Payton, remind me again. Somebody asked me today, why don't I like Sean Payton? What were the stories that we hated about him?
I think the initial thing was the
Bounty Gate.
Bounty Gate. That was the initial thing.
When he was with the Saints.
Put him on your radar.
Yeah.
But it was also how, as much as you aren't a fan of Russell Wilson,
just the way he
handled that situation. He kind of aired him out early, and then they tried to take his money from him. And then when he didn't want to give it up, they're like, all right, you're going to sit down the rest of the year. I think that was like kind of the last thing that he did.
Because somebody asked me about, why do you hate Sean Payton? And I was like, I don't remember. I just know I don't like him. I know he's on the book.
It's been a while since the book has to dust that book off a little bit.
You got to read it over.
You can hear the dust coming off of it when it lands.
True that.
Did you guys see Sean Payton doing this last night?
He definitely had that face a couple times during the game yesterday.
He puts he like duck lips. It's very strange.
It's like a hard duck lip.
It's he like, it would scare me if I went into his office and he was duck lipping like that, because I would be in trouble.
Who was it that you called a weasel yesterday?
Oh gosh, Ryan Day.
When he said it, I almost fell out of my chair because it kind of fits.
It does.
Especially the way he was rolling around. I know he was cold,
Yeah,
but the way he was rolling around in that Ohio State-Michigan game, it was a good call.
Chris, can you see it as well? Ryan Day, Weasel.
Oh my goodness, yes.
It's very funny. Just
yeah,
I don't like to make fun of people's appearance, but
right, he just looks the part.
That is pretty spot on. Like,
he looks the part.
If someone superimposed that outfit he had on Otto Weasel,
oh my goodness, his outfit.
No one put Ryan Day's face on a weasel.
I'm telling you, Woody Hayes rolled over on that one. I mean. That was an embarrassment.
That outfit?
I don't know. Ryan Day, he's going to lose his job if they don't win the national. We said it.
Oh yeah.
He's 0-4 against Michigan.
He can't have
Ohio
an early
State
out.
Fans don't like that.
He cannot have an early out.
Yeah,
that is for sure.
In the tournament.
All right, we are going to go to break early because this fantabulous sports game show is going to be just that, fantabulous.
A doozy. Like a 25-minute game show. I can't even do the 15-minute version.
It's a doozy. Scrape, get ready.
More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
On Tuesday.
Mediterranean food, like we do. Spiro's Mediterranean cuisine. Online takeout orders, spiroscuisine.com. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, getting ready for a fantabulous game show. This is an event that Tony normally wins. I think Scraby did have a recent victory, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Today, I think, is a fun category. I did spent a little extra time on it. And it's going to be a bit of a puzzle today. So both of you should get a piece of paper and a pen out, because you're going to want to take these notes before you start making your guesses.
Oh my gosh.
All right?
Is this like a cipher or something?
Well, a little bit. I think you're going to like it. Okay. But it's coming up after traffic.
I was just about to write stuff down, Chris.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Soapy Joe's Car Wash Online Stocking Stuffer. Buy 4 washes, get 2 free. Deal with a few stalled vehicles here. One is on eastbound 8 before Mullison. That truck is in the center divide. Also traveling on eastbound 78 just before Center City Parkway. We have reports of a stall partially in the slow lane. Keep in mind, out along the 78, you're going to find closures between the 79 and Old Julian Highway. This is both directions, all due to a collision. Soapy Joe's believes in the magic of the holiday season. Give the gift of clean and shine. Now buy 4 washes, get 2 free. This is an online exclusive stocking stuffer. Visit SoapyJoesCarWash.com for more details. Hurry, offer ends December 23rd. Happy holidays from Soapy Joe's. And Kelly Danik with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, all you beautiful people out there, it's time to play one of our favorite games of the week.
All right!
We like to call it...
Ooh, I'm going to go.
Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show! And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, going back to the turn of the century, which is now 24 long years ago.
Wait, what happened to the notes we were going to take?
Yeah, gonna get them.
Okay,
gonna get them. Going back to the turn of the century, ESPN did a great, whole feature, and it was on the 100 greatest athletes of the 20th century.
Yes,
Sports Century it was called. Michael Jordan ended up as the greatest athlete of the last 100 years. Babe Ruth was number 2, Muhammad Ali number 3, and on down the line. Well, a couple of months ago, ESPN did a list of the greatest athletes of the 21st century so far. Your job is going to be to identify the top 25 greatest athletes of this century. All right? So Michael Jordan, for instance, would not be in. He was last century.
So 2000 on.
2000 on, correct. And here's where you're going to take some notes, because this is the puzzle. There are 21 men and 4 women. So you may want to make a note of that. There are 14 athletes from team sports and 11 from individual sports. And here's how that breaks down. There are
14 athletes from team sports?
Right. 11 individual.
Keep up, Tony.
6 in the NBA. 3 in the NFL, 2 in soccer, 1 WNBA, 1 hockey, and only 1 Major League Baseball player.
How many of that again, please?
6 NBA, 3 NFL, 2 soccer, WNBA 1, hockey 1, baseball 1. On the individual sports, 3 men's tennis, 2 swimming, 1 track and field, 1 auto racing.
Jeez,
I know. This is a puzzle. 1 boxing, 1 women's tennis.
Can you text this to me?
No.
I'm thinking the same thing.
1 golf, 1 gymnastics. All right, if you get it all down, you'll have your puzzle. Now you have to fill out the puzzle with the 25 names that are the greatest athletes of the 21st century. I thought because it's such a wide-ranging category.
Real quick.
Yes,
before we get started. 6, 3, 2, 1, 1.
1
for the team sports.
What's the last one?
WNBA, hockey, baseball.
Baseball, okay.
Okay. And the individuals, 3 men's tennis, 2 swimming, 1 each, track and field, auto racing, boxing, women's tennis, golf, gymnastics. Okay. So now you have to identify the 25. There's going to be no strikeout rule today. You're going to get as many guesses as you can until one of you gets to 13.
Okay.
Whoever gets to 13 first wins. So that is the rules. You guys can play along out there. How many of the top 25 athletes? According to ESPN, we are about a quarter of the way through this century. These are the 25 greatest athletes. And those are what they play. Scrape, you want to go first? Or you want to pass to Tony Gwynn Jr.?
I'll go first.
All right. Going with?
I'm going to take maybe the most famous of them all.
All right.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Tiger Woods. Tiger ranked 8th. on this list. Scraby's on the board.
Is that the one golf?
Yep.
What do you think?
Well, I didn't know if there was.
He doesn't
an
play another
LPGA.
sport, buddy.
You didn't specify if it was men's or women's golf.
Well, I said one golf. Tiger plays golf. That should be the one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was thinking maybe Annika Sorenstam down the line.
Maybe not. Or I would have said two golf.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Tiger's number 8, and Scraby's on the board. Tony,
Michael Phelps.
number 1 overall.
That's
Greatest athlete of the 21st century so far, Michael Phelps. That's one of the 2 swimmers. So there's another swimmer left. That's how this all works. I know you guys know that. All right,
Now-
Scraby.
Can we ask about the swimmers? Is it men and women, or is it just men?
It's swimmers.
Swimmers.
2 swimmers. I gave you 2 swimmer. You don't have to get the swimmer. Get another category.
All right, I'm just going to go with Roger Federer.
Roger Federer. Interesting. Roger is, where'd he go?
He's there.
Number 6.
Okay.
Way up there. Number 6. One of the men's tennis players. All right, you guys are doing fine so far. Tony, trailing 2-1. Who you want?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. You would think he'd make it. And he
playing.
did at number 4.
I was gonna say.
LeBron James is number 4. There are 5 NBA players left on the board. All right, Scrape. Rolling along, 21 correct answers to go.
How about Simone Biles?
You went for the gymnast.
I did.
Simone is on the list. She's number 7.
She's the best gymnast ever, right?
Well, that's what they say, and she's on the list, so you got it. That leaves Tony's turn.
I believe the second swimmer is Katie Ledecky.
You got
Dang
it. You got it.
I was hoping that Tony wasn't going to get that one.
You got it, Tony. Katie
You started
Ledecky.
asking all those questions, and it got in my mind to think, oh, yeah.
Katie Ledecky is correct. You guys are naming most of the individuals right now, leaving the team sports out for the time being, except for LeBron.
LeBron James.
3-3. Scrabe.
I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. He's on the list, number 5. I think that's a tad lower than I would have expected for Mr. Brady. One of the NFL players is taken. All right, 4-3. Scrape. Tony.
Djokovic.
Djokovic. Go ahead and take another one of those tennis stars. Correct. Djokovic is number 11 on
How do
the
you
list.
spell his last name?
D-J-O-K-O-V-I-C.
K-O-V-I-C. All right.
All right. Here we go with Scraby. 4-4. I think it's going to get interesting later. Maybe not. Maybe you guys will just run the category. All 25.
We have 5 NBA left.
Correct.
We have 2 NFL left.
Correct.
All right.
Where you
I'm
want to
just
go?
going to say it. The greatest baseball player of all time, Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. There's only one baseball player.
It's Mike Trout.
So you were really shooting a dart here.
I was thinking Shohei, but I went Mike Trout because of all the fanfare for longer in this century.
That is incorrect, sir.
Oh, no, sir.
Mike Trout
No
is
strikes,
not
though.
in the top 25. No strikes, but it does turn it over to
How
Tony.
does the best baseball player of all time not make the top 25 for 2000?
Well, 2000s, yeah. Maybe he was 26. I don't have the whole list with me at this moment.
That really
That
bothers
is
me.
interesting. that
Trout
he's
is not the
guy.
baseball
He
player.
has to be the guy.
He's not the guy.
He's not the guy, Scrape.
He's
not the guy.
That guy. All right, Tony. Again, according to ESPN, which this was published just a few months ago, greatest athletes of the 21st century so far. Tied at 4, Tony Gwynn Jr. Your pick.
There's only one hockey, too.
One hockey. Yeah.
I think I know that.
I'm going to the soccer realm.
Soccer realm.
do.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, number 13.
Forgot about that guy.
Ronaldo's correct. All right. Tony leads now, 5-4. Scrabe. Now he's gonna be once he gets one wrong, he gets gun shy. He gets a little gun shy.
second guessing himself.
I'm going to go
He
with the other soccer player,
Okay.
Lionel Messi.
Oh God, I hope you're right.
Oh, yes, that's right.
He's number 3.
That's right.
They put Messi ahead of LeBron. Would you do that? That's for another
his
time.
cultural
impact.
Impact, yeah.
That's fair.
All right, 5-5. Tony's up. Scraby, by the way, all of your guesses have been in the top 10.
I know. I don't know any of these other people, apparently.
Well, you will.
I got a lot of names.
All right, 5-5. Tony Gwynn Jr. Soccer's
my
out.
Lord.
Crossing soccer out.
Crossing soccer out. Swimming's out. Crossing
Swimming's
swimming
out. Golf's out. Gymnastics is out. All right, Tony, where do you want to go here? I told you guys this would take a tad longer.
I do like this category, Chris.
It's a pretty good
category.
category. It's fun.
Strong category.
All right.
Man, is Kobe Bean Bryant on this list?
You asking me or are you telling me?
I'm asking you. You don't want to tell me?
No, is this your guess?
Did he start 96?
He did start 96, but he didn't come into age until 2000. I'm going with Kobe Bryant.
Number 10, Kobe
Yeah!
Bryant. Kobe Bean is there. For sure.
Okay.
Tony
so
leads 6-5.
4 NBA
Scraby.
players left.
Yes, that's right. Very good, Scrabe. You're following along nicely.
I'm going to try to pick off these other ones.
Okay.
Track and field.
Okay.
I got to go with Usain Bolt.
Very good, Scrabe. Number 9, Usain Bolt. Scraby's got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 on his guesses. Track and field is out. And we're 6-6. We're about
Who'd you
halfway
say?
home. He said Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Bolt.
Yes. Tony Gwynn Jr. We're about halfway home, guys, so keep it rolling. Guess along out there. There are 4 NBA players left out there, 2 NFL. There's a WNBA.
Are there 2
hockey.
NFL? I can't ask you that.
You can ask. I don't know if I'll answer.
Are they both quarterbacks?
I can't answer. WNBA, hockey, baseball, there's 1 apiece. And we got 1 men's tennis, auto racing, boxing, women's tennis.
That auto racing one.
No, maybe you should
I've
go
ran
somewhere
through
else.
every single name that I could think of.
All right. It's Tony's turn, though, so you don't have to worry about it at the moment.
You're good for now.
Yeah.
Gosh, Tom. What else? I'm running out of names.
There's 4 NBA players left, Tony. I think that may be where you would like to go sometimes. 2 NFL. 1 of everything else. Tony, time. Come on.
I'm just drawing a blank right now.
Well, it happens to the best of us.
Okay, I said LeBron. I said Kobe. Why can't I think of another basketball player?
I don't know. We'll
Chris, we're going to have to buzz him soon.
No,
he's given me longer before.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's okay. There's no strikes today, so if you miss it, it just turns over to Scraby.
That's true. I don't want to cede the ground back to this guy, though.
I know. Guess somebody then.
Maya Moore.
Maya Moore is your WNBA pick. Incorrect.
Dang.
Oh!
Incorrect. Good player.
It came to my head. I was like scrounging for a name there.
Yeah,
that
you
one
got
popped
her.
up.
She's good, but not the top 25. All right, back to 6-6 and Scraby.
I'm going to take the women's tennis off the board. Serena Williams.
Number 2.
Oh, my gosh, Tony.
Way up there.
You're lucky because I wrote Venus.
Oh, that
You're
would have
lucky,
been a
not
mistake.
me.
Yeah.
Because that would have helped me.
Yeah, I'm lucky, not you're lucky.
All right, you got 1 tennis, 1 auto racing, 1 boxing. You got 1 WNBA, hockey and baseball, and then all the NFL and basketball. Tony trailing now for the 7-6.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Number 25. He is on the list.
There goes boxing.
Boxing's out. All right. We are down. We are 7-7 with 11 correct answers remaining. Scrabe, you guys are doing, pretty well, but I think the category thing adds another dimension to it.
It does.
Otherwise, I think you guys would have just been guessing all over the board.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't
more
like
focused.
this. Yeah.
One of my
Scrabe.
favorite nicknames in the NBA landscape
Yes.
was the Big Fundamental. Tim
And
Duncan.
his name is?
Tim Duncan.
He is correct. 16th.
Is that his name, Big Fundamental?
I think so.
Yep.
Scraby got an
Such a
NBA guy.
bad nickname.
Stole one from underneath Tony's nose there.
Not a fan of that, Scraby. Not a fan.
All right, 3 NBA left, 2 NFL left.
I'm going to attack this baseball.
All right, go for it. There's 1 guy in baseball in this century.
The tough part about baseball in the 2000s, are they holding the steroid thing over guys? Are they not? I'm going to go with Barry.
Barry Bonds should be on it. Incorrect.
They held it against him. That helps me narrow it down, though, actually.
All right, Scrape, you got a chance to open up a little room here, 3, 6, 7, 8 to 7, but you can go up by 2 for the first time. Scraby.
I will go with
Scraby.
How many NFL? We got 2?
2 left.
I'm gonna go with Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Not
Who
Eli?
is that?
No, not Eli. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning?
Where's
You never
Manning
seen
at?
that commercial? I'm Peyton Manning.
Oh, I've seen
yeah.
that. Yes.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. Peyton Manning's not on the list
What?
either. So that's a
That
strike.
is shocking.
He was on my tongue.
That is shocking.
Peyton Manning didn't make the top 25. Could be 26, though.
Peyton
like I
got
said, I don't have the
screwed.
list in front of me right now. All right, so Tony, 8 to 7. I think we're going to carry this over a little bit, but that's okay. Gives everybody a little chance to try to think of 3 more NBA, 2 NFL, and then 1 each WNBA, hockey, baseball, and auto racing.
Let's go Diana Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi got the WNBA correct. Diana's number 21 on the list overall. You got the WNBA. Good job, Tony.
Thank you.
We have 8-8. 9 to go.
I got one.
Oh, okay. Take a guess.
For the hockey.
Hockey.
I got two guys in mind.
Uh-oh.
You can only use one, though.
Can only guess one at a
Going
time.
with Ovechkin.
Ovechkin, yes. The top
Wow!
goal scorer, but not correct.
Oh, my goodness! Why did you do that to me? Why did you do that?
It sounded good. It felt good at the time. It felt good at the time. That's all I could say.
That was messed up.
Ovechkin's not correct.
How is that not correct?
Not here on the list.
Oh, man, that is hilarious.
The hockey one is still out there. We're tied at 8. Tony's back in potential control here. It's kind of gone back and forth a couple times here.
I think I'm going to try to attack hockey here.
You're going to go for hockey,
Oh,
huh?
no, please don't say the other guy I was thinking.
The Ovechkin's only really nemesis
Rival, yeah.
was Mr. Sidney Crosby.
You going?
I'm going Crosby.
Sid the Kid, number 22.
I should have said him. I had
Sid
him written
the
down
Kid.
first.
Tony leads 9-8.
Oh,
It's a thriller. Scraby, try to even it up again. Hockey's out. Still got the baseball player. Still got 3 NBA players.
Three of them.
All right,
2
I got
football.
one of them. I got one of them.
You got an NBA
I got an
player?
NBA player.
All right, who is it?
Steph the Chef Curry.
Steph Curry's on it, 14. Change the game.
Been
You
holding
steal
that one for a
another
little bit.
NBA player from you, Tony.
The tables have turned.
You want to take a break? Or
No, we still got 2 more guesses for Tony.
a couple more guesses. All right, Tony.
Can I get some categories from you?
Yeah, I'll catch you up. 3, 4, 6, 8, 9 to 9. 7 correct left.
Oh,
Here
can
are
you
the
reset?
7.
Can
Yes,
you reset?
2 NBA, 2 NFL, 1 baseball, 1 tennis, 1 auto racing. Those are your 7 left.
I'm going to go with Albert Pujols.
For baseball.
Baseball.
Oh, and not Trout, not Bonds. Albert Pujols, correct.
Wow.
24th on the list.
Didn't think about him,
A
honestly.
little low, 24, I say, for Albert, but baseball not getting a lot of love.
All right, I'm going safe, and I'm naming
Pujols.
the other tennis.
The other tennis, this is safe, I think.
Nadal.
For
Nice
sure.
job.
Number 12. All right, let's take a break there. We're 10-10. We have 5 correct answers left. Who's going to get to 13 first? Find out when the Fantabulous Game Show wraps up next on Gwynn and Chris.
I'm so nervous. nervous.
Chris's fantabulous sports game show. This might be one of the best ones we've
Look
done
at
in quite some time.
I don't want to show Tony my names, but my sheet is crazy right now.
So good that there's no strikes.
No strikes this time.
Yeah.
Can we reset the topic, please?
Yes, we're going to reset everything. Sorry to anybody who tuned in and didn't know what we were doing. I tried to reset as often as I could, but I didn't do it enough. ESPN's list of the greatest athletes of the 20th century so far. All right? And these guys are trying to guess the top 25 on that list. Among those that have been guessed already, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, Messi, LeBron, Brady, Federer, Simone Biles, Tiger, Usain Bolt, Kobe, many others. I gave the guys categories to help narrow it down a little bit, and each of you has got 10 correct answers so far. There are 5 remaining, and in order to win, you got to get to 13. Here are the categories that remain. 2 NBA players, 2 NFL players, and 1 auto racing. Those are the 5 that are remaining. One last thing before we get back to the game. Back to the game. You guys had 5 incorrect answers in the first part of the game, but you were close. Peyton Manning was 26.
Peyton
just
Manning.
missed. Mike Trout was 30. Maya Moore was 36. Barry Bonds, 38.
That's crazy.
That is great.
That's a little low. And Ovechkin, 54.
They clearly held the steroid thing over his
All right,
head.
so they're Ovechkin, 54. So that all 5 that you missed were in the top 100, but not in the top 25. All right, so that's where we are. There's 5 left. If you're just tuning in, maybe you can guess who they haven't guessed. They're missing 2 NBA players. So far, the NBA players you have guessed, LeBron, Kobe, and Duncan.
The big fundamental.
The big fundamental.
And I thought one more.
No, it's just 3.
Yeah, I think it's
3
just
so
3.
far. No, but there's only 2 remaining.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You had Curry.
Curry. There it is.
So the
There
4
it is.
you've guessed. Thank you. James, Curry, Duncan, Kobe. There are 2 NFL players left. The only one in the NFL you've guessed so far is Brady. And then there's the 1 auto racing. Tony, it's your turn to take the lead back
I'm
at
gonna
11
take
to 10.
a stab at auto racing.
You're going to take auto
Please
racing
don't.
off the
I was
board.
hoping I would go. I walked around the building and it came to me, I think.
I'm coming home. Let's go with Jimmy Johnson.
No!
Jimmy Johnson.
No!
And
No! He did it to you too, Tony.
Jimmy Johnson didn't make it.
It was too late, right?
I don't know.
I feel like
He was right in the
racing
middle.
2000.
He was right in the middle. He was like
not
2010
the auto racing.
sport. Who did this list?
ESPN.
We know how we feel about those people.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson. I didn't even think of Jimmy. But, man, I should have. San Diego.
Gosh, Jimmy.
You know, I'm looking through this whole thing. I'm trying to find
He's not
him.
even in there, huh?
Not yet. I'm way down here now.
I'm going to save my guess for auto racing until the
You
last.
may not need it if you can get to 13 before then.
All right, I'm going to do an
it's
NBA.
10-10.
Hopefully this guy's played long enough in this century.
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo
Hell
is
no.
incorrecto. He's in the list, but he's not that high.
My gosh, who is this guy?
So there's still 2 NBA players left. Tony, back to you. We go. Giannis is in the 50s here, Scrape.
What?
2 NBA,
I have no
2 NFL.
1 auto racing, and it's not Jimmy.
It's not Jimmy.
I thought you had it.
I did
The way you led into it, I thought, man, he got it.
I thought I had it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Jimmy's 47. Here he is. I went past him earlier. Number 47, Jimmy. So he was on the list. Not high enough, though.
Diesel. Shaq.
No!
Shaquille O'Neal would break the legs of the guy who did the list if he didn't put him on.
It's gone?
He's on. 17.
Shaq Diesel.
Shaq Diesel is on. There's only 1 left in the NBA. Tony leads 11 to 10. He's 2 away. Scraby, can you match him here? 1 NBA, 2 football.
I got to take
And
another
auto
stab
racing.
at this football. And if this guy's not on the list, I'm protesting this entire list because.
My headset fell out. I'm so excited. All right, so go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes.
Fatrick?
I did not say that.
You're going with Fatrick? To be one of the greatest athletes of the
He's
21st
going
century?
with
He won a
Patrick.
bunch of Super Bowls, Chris.
He's number 19.
Okay,
He's
thank
on the
you.
list.
Thank you.
Patrick Mahomes.
I was going to
Correct.
protest the list. I thought Chris thought I said Fatrick.
No, I didn't think you said that. We're just making fun of his nickname that's
Yes.
on his Pro Football Reference page.
That is true. Poor
All
guy.
right, we're tied at 11. It's a best 2 out of 3 now.
I'm going to save my NBA.
1 NBA, 1 football, and 1 auto racing. The only 3 left. Tony, who you got?
Do I want to say this name?
I don't know.
Recently retired Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Never would have thought that.
I would have never thought of him. That's interesting. That's a defensive lineman. But he's on the list.
Oh, he's on the list.
This might be the dumbest list I've ever heard.
Get out of here with
Aaron
that.
Donald. Aaron Donald's on it, but Mike Trout isn't.
10-time Pro
Mike Trout's
Bowler.
been hurt a lot in the 2000s.
3-time Defensive Player of the Year, tied for the most all time.
Speak to him.
Anyway, that's what
Guy
they
wins
wrote.
Speak to
precisely 1 Super Bowl and retires and is the best athlete of the generation.
Don't hate the player.
12-11, Tony.
Hate the
Scrape,
game.
you need the last 2 to win. You can tie it right here. NBA, auto racing.
The NBA
The
is
last 2.
really tough for me. Oh!
Oh, wait, we hear.
Yeah,
Wait,
we've heard this
something-
before.
Yeah, it's-
We've heard that before.
yes,
about
we
a-
have. It's usually followed by an incorrect answer.
What about a guy who he is hurt, but he does do great things? Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant?
That's a good call.
Pretty good. He's not on the list. That's not how I was going to say it. I was going to just say he's number 39. He's not on the list.
He got ready to jump out of the seat. He thought you were going to say he's on the list.
Not quite. Kevin Durant.
This is stupid.
Durantula.
How are all the greatest athletes in the world
They
not on
can't
this
all
list?
be in the top
They're
25.
They're still playing. They'll be a part of the 2010s.
Yeah. This is the first 24 years of this century.
First 24 years.
That's-
But there's
they
only 25 that can be the 25.
Hasn't Kevin Durant been playing since like 2007?
He's on the list. It's not high enough.
High enough.
That's
dog.
ridiculous. That's stupid.
All right. You can wrap it up. Tony, if you can get, I'll give you a couple more guesses. Otherwise, it'll finish 12-11. But if you get to 13, you win it fair and square. An NBA player or an auto racer for the top
I gave you my
greatest
one.
athlete.
My
I
one
think
and
I
only.
know the auto racing.
That was your one shot at auto racing.
I have 2 names for auto racing. I think I know it.
I'm gonna go with the big ticket.
Who is that?
Kevin
I really
Garnett.
don't remember that. Kevin
Garnett.
Garnett. You know that me and the coach once called him
Yes,
on the night.
you
we
cold
heard
called
that
him. Yes,
story
I've
before?
heard.
Yes.
Woke him up the night he was drafted. He came on with us. He's the number 23 ranked player of
That is so
this century.
stupid. Kevin
And
Garnett is not
Tony
the...
Gwynn Jr.
I'm sorry. Kevin Garnett. Did how many MVPs did Kevin Garnett win? 1. Okay. How many did Mike Trout win? Mike Trout is 30th and Kevin Garnett is 23rd. This list is stupid.
This feels like some sour grapes you're tasting right
Sounds
now.
like you're. Tony was guessing on the same list you were.
This list is stupid.
Something just got tossed
you know
in the
what-
trash.
You know what you need to do, man. It's taking too long to go ahead and cue it up, please.
Cue it up.
Cue it up.
Sorry, I just threw something at Tony.
Yeah, you did. Durant, 8-time All-NBA.
Oh, not good enough though.
KG was probably like a
I
10
said
time.
Garnett. No, I meant Garnett.
Oh,
I
there
meant
you go.
Garnett. Yeah, 8-time
Go ahead.
All-NBA.
Cue me up, please.
I don't know what you want.
Cue me up,
Cue
sir.
it up for those that have never heard the celebration in the past. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're
We'll
not moving
wait.
on without it. His
Yes!
look is priceless, I must say.
I'm pretty mad right now. Like, if I could beat handily, it's okay. But the fact that there's dumb names on that
you
list.
You taste victory, right?
I can guarantee you ask 100 people who Kevin Garnett is, they would not know. You ask 100 people who Mike Trout is, they would know.
Maybe if you asked 100 baseball fans, they would know. And they wouldn't know KG.
People know Mike Trout.
People know Kevin Garnett.
How many
guess?
playoff games has Mike Trout won, by the way?
0. But that's not his fault, right?
That
what
might
we're
be
told.
the knock on him.
That's what we're told.
Do you want to try the auto racer? Anybody?
Okay,
Just throw out a name.
I got two names.
Tony Stewart.
No.
That was a good one. I got two, or actually I got three names because I've been watching with F1 being in Vegas.
Okay.
I've been watching a lot of F1.
All right.
But I'm going to go with an older F1 driver.
You may.
Michael Schumacher?
No.
Okay, what about Max Verstappen?
Nope.
What about Jeff Gordon?
Nope.
Okay,
Oh, it wasn't Jeff Gordon either.
Number 19, a 7-time Formula One champion. Joint record with Michael Schumacher. He's won 104 races, the most. 104 pole positions,
Hamilton?
the most. Lewis Hamilton. Correct.
I ended up getting that one too, buddy.
Lewis Hamilton would have been the one. All right,
I
there
just
you
thought
go.
he was too new. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's why I didn't think of him.
He's accomplished a hell of a lot, apparently. Some guys that just missed. I told you Manning was 26. Randy Moss, 27. Jokic is all the way up at 28. Schumacher, right there, 29. Trout, I mentioned. Kershaw.
Scrapey's really bad.
Miguel Cabrera. Dwayne Wade. Ichiro.
I had Ichiro on my list, but Mike Trout wasn't on there. Ichiro's not going to be on there.
All right.
Ichiro.
Not going to give you them all. If you want to look it up,
Get
you
my
can,
list, everybody.
if you want to see the list, you can go to just Google search ESPN.
That was a fun
top 100 athletes of the
wasn't.
21st century.
I'm sorry you ended up on the losing side of that scrape. It wasn't, it was a good matchup, though.
It was a fun matchup.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing, guys. Tony wins again.
Ovechkin, huh?
All right, he's gonna be moaning about this the rest of the day.
Because this is a dumb list. Whoever chose this,
You know where you made your mistake at?
was this Bradford Doolittle?
Ovechkin. That was where you made your mistake.
That was
It wasn't a bad
You
guess.
seeded the ground, though. You had the other one on your tongue.
I did. I had him written down first.
Sid the Kid, man. This is America, Scrape. They probably
I mean,
held
Ovechkin
that
does
against
live
him.
in America right now.
Well, maybe they held that against him. I don't know.
Because he's Russian, he doesn't get the list.
Here's the end of the little lead into the story. Says, "Let the arguments begin." Well, they've begun.
Yes, they have.
All right. Like I said, ESPN top 100 athletes of the 21st century. If you want to look up the list yourself, take us away, Tony, as a champion again.
Are we going to move to the HOF list, or are we playing some Chris versus fans?
I think we need to play some Chris versus the fans. What do you guys think?
That's fine.
833-288-0973. Give us a
anymore
call.
about life,
More Gwynn and Chris on the other side. Here's some traffic.
From the 97.3 The
And if you're just tuning in, looking for some sports news, Blake Snell was introduced by the Dodgers today. That'll put a smile on your face. Kyle Higashioka was signed away from the Padres by the Rangers. That also will probably put a smile on your face. That's about it. I guess, does that matter? Aroldis Chapman, Red Sox.
Red
today.
Sox are supposed to be pretty
Trying to-
big players in the Soto sweepstakes, too.
Red Sox trying to
They're
become
trying to-
relevant again. That would be good. We've never mentioned this also today. It was a big controversy. Aziz Al Sha'ir.
We'll talk about him in the Big Five.
Get
next.
more on that, a Big
Yeah,
Five.
because I think it's crazy.
3-game suspension for his hit on Trevor Lawrence. But we'll talk about that more right now. We'll play Chris versus the fans.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
Howdy do.
now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know Gen 4.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, I'll read the prize today because we're going to keep Chris's
You better
voice.
do it.
You will be qualified for a chance to win a grand prize, a 2-night stay at Westgate Las Vegas, 2 tickets to Soul of Motown, and $150 food and beverage credit. Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino features newly designed premier rooms, part of their $70 million room renovations. The award-winning Soul of Motown is a high-energy concert-style musical tribute celebrating Motown legends. This is a must-see show during your Las Vegas vacation getaway. Tickets at WestgateResorts.com. Now, the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time
Player!
let us know before you get into it, and we will give that question for you. You will start on question number 2. The first question is free. Finally, Chris versus the Fans is presented by SD Fat Loss. Lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Visit sdfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation. All right. I think, were we a one and done yesterday?
We were. It was a miss. He missed all of them, but he was a first-time player, missed all of them, and won.
You know what hit me right before I left here last night at like 5:30? I never got Mario's information.
Shut up.
I never got it. So you know what I did? Looked up his phone number on a system here, gave him a call back. Got his information.
we were like hours past the show at that point.
Yeah, he said, he was like, I wasn't sure what happened. I think maybe you had it already. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at that.
You just totally left him on hold.
Yeah, to
For
the
like
point where
an hour?
to the point where he hung up.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it until I was packing up my bag and I saw his name in my notebook.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, I hope I don't do that to any of you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop us. But Chris, you asked me earlier, what was it that made you not like Sean Payton?
Yes.
Just so happens that a clip just scrolled on my phone of him undressing Russell Wilson on the sideline.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Like undressing him.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting
Not a
there
good
like
look.
a kid getting scolded.
Not a good look.
No, not a good look. All right, I digress. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to our first contestant. We'll go with Andrew in National City. Hello,
What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not too much.
Let's
Here we
do
go.
this. Which Neil Diamond song is played in the 8th inning of every Boston Red Sox game at Fenway Park?
I don't know the exact name of it. I think it's called Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
I gotta say, back when I went to Fenway, I was a drinker, and I had
you was
fun
rocking.
during
You were
that
rocking
song.
on
I
that one.
loved it. No, I didn't want to. No, I was with someone that I couldn't get too drunk with. So,
But you
that
had
was
fun at that
really
part.
fun.
All right, here we go. Question number 2. Ooh, this is a good one. Good, tough one. Who was the first tight end to be included into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Or inducted.
Or inducted.
First tight end.
I think I used him in Madden, that old school card, like Otis something.
Otis
Redenbacher he's a popcorn guy.
No, not Orville.
Orville,
That's all I got.
That's all he's got, he said.
That's all I got.
Oh,
Otis.
that's all you got.
Otis.
elevator company? Chris?
Hello?
Yeah.
For the steal?
Stay there, Andrew.
Ditka?
He played you right there. Stay there.
Like, I really thought Chris was, when he goes, yeah, you know something bad. Sorry,
it is
Andrew.
Ditka. Sorry, Andrew.
Sorry, Andrew.
Michael
Thank you for playing.
Ditka.
Ditka.
The Bears.
How is Ditka these days?
I
we
don't
haven't
know.
heard from him
We
in
haven't.
years and years.
You know he's really funny in is that movie Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell. He's like the neighbor. It's great.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's when Will Ferrell's like a soccer coach for kids.
Who's our next contestant?
That's a great question, Tony. You don't want to talk about that movie anymore?
I don't get what to say. I don't know what to
Let's
say.
go, Ryan.
Ryan, welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, Ryan.
Here we go, Ryan. First question. What former Padres was up for the Cy Young with the Royals this past season?
Doable.
Cy Young with the Royals. I don't know.
Sorry, Ryan.
Hello.
Sorry, Ryan. Seth Lugo.
Lugo.
Be your guy there.
That is correct.
That'll be your guy there.
We move on
Chris's
to...
voice is getting more.
I know. You guys need some water, my man? Next contestant.
Let's go to Evan.
Evan, welcome to the show. Come on down.
Happy Thursday, guys.
Happy Thursday.
That's a long
I
time
just want to
listener.
say real quick that I love the Chris's Fantabulous Game Show just because of the angst that it causes in the studio.
It really
definitely
does.
causes
We like
angst.
it for the same reason.
You should hear it. You should hear it in the breaks. It's me complaining the entire time about how stupid that list was.
Here we go. First question. Looking for first names here. Name both of Deion Sanders' sons.
That'd be Shadur and Shiloh.
Wow.
Very nice.
All over that. I would have had a
Yeah.
little trouble with Shiloh. Might have
Shiloh.
taken me a
Shiloh is the safety.
Is he? Oh yeah, I did see him on the field. He almost got targeting against
Yeah,
Kansas, but
he
they
hammered somebody.
they didn't call targeting.
Here we go. Question number 2. This is such a scrapey question right here.
It was added 5 minutes ago.
Josh Allen just got engaged to which celebrity?
Oh, got to keep up. TMZ. Dun 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 dun.
What's their name?
That's what we asked you.
Wow, Chris is a roaster now.
I know.
Shailene Woodley?
Oh,
That would be the other quarterback back in the day.
That would be quite awkward.
That would be
That
Haley.
would be awkward.
Josh Allen started dating Aaron Rodgers' ex-girlfriend.
Let me guess while I still remember her
Sorry.
name. Haley Steinfeld. As close as I can get. Yeah.
Right
Sorry
on the
about
money.
that, Evan.
Sorry, Evan.
By the way, he got on his bye week, and there
Yeah,
were
right.
people very upset that he got engaged on his bye week.
He's supposed to be in there watching film.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game or anything on Sunday night.
Get a life, people.
Thank you, Tony.
Let's
go to Steven.
Steven, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Doing well, first time player.
First time player. On to question number 2. From 2016 from 2016 to 2018, what NFL team went 3-36-1 over a 40-game span?
The Lions?
The Lions. Incorrect.
Sorry, I was typing something. My friend Mark Ziegler asked a question. Getting back to him.
Do you need the question again?
I do.
Tell Mark not to text during the show.
He knows it all.
I'm just kidding, Mark.
He knows he takes precedence
I'm
over
just
you.
kidding, Mark.
From 2016 to 2018, what NFL team went 3-36-1
Yeah.
over a 40-game stretch?
Trying to think of a tie, but I'd just go the Browns. It's the only other one that comes to mind.
They would have a tie in there, wouldn't they?
I don't know. Yep,
They
I guess
do.
They did.
Do you know who was the coach?
There was about 3 of them, wasn't there?
Well, there was one main one who was there for most of it.
Yes, I remember. I can see him.
He's a mean-looking guy.
I can see
I can see him, but I can't get his name.
put his
Hugh
face.
Jackson.
Yep. Hugh.
And you know who was the quarterback of that team? RG3.
Wait, what?
The reason I remember this because when I worked for Chargers Radio, the Chargers
He
were the
might have
team.
been on that team. He wasn't starting every week.
RG3, I think, was. at the time for the Browns. But I remember being in Chargers radio, and the Browns were winless, and the Chargers were the team that got them the win.
I tell you what, how your star can be dimmed very fast. I remember Hugh Jackson was one of the premier offensive minds at the time when he got that job.
And then they had Freddie Kitchens.
And then, that's right. Freddie Kitchens stuffed in at that.
Can you believe that?
That was all bad. It's still all bad there right now. Not as bad.
No.
Who's our next contestant?
Okay, we got one more before we have to get moving. David, welcome
to the show. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, fellas.
Good afternoon.
Here we go. First question. Who is the current head coach of the New York Football Giants?
He sucks.
I don't know.
Doesn't know.
No, he does not know.
He hasn't done enough for you to know who he is.
Brian Dable. Unless he got fired earlier today,
He
I
did.
didn't get the
He's-
memo.
Oh, the news. Oh, yeah, he's not the coach anymore.
He's-
Oh, wait, no, you're right. Sorry.
All right.
All right. So what are we going now?
All right.
Do another one. That was too quick.
The steam has been let out. We are going to have to go to break because then we have the Big Five. We don't get through the Big Five. We know how that backs up the 5 o'clock hour.
Oh, yes, it's
It
terrible.
definitely. That's so tragic.
We'll play for 2 tomorrow.
So we're just ending the game?
Guess so.
Scrape
Or
is
do you-
calling
I
it.
guess
Scrape's
you guys
call-
don't want to do that.
Scrape's calling it.
We should have planned this out before we came. Chris is giving me a blocking charge.
No, that's a roller derby for call off the jam.
Call off the. How do you know what that is?
Because I watched roller derby when I was a kid.
I used to watch roller. I used to have it on a little bit when I was younger.
All right, fine. One more.
All right,
This
here
is
we
it,
go.
though.
more.
This is
Talking
it.
him into
All
it.
right, here we
Greg.
Greg, you are the lucky last contestant. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Wow, I just dialed in. That's super luck.
That is super lucky. All right, here we go. First question. What school does Deion Sanders coach?
Colorado Buffalo.
The Buffaloes is correct.
Oh, I just thought of something. Did you see Dan Orlovsky's post that the Buffalo sent out for Heisman?
I did.
We'll talk about that in the Big Five.
I
It
did
just
see
became
it.
a topic.
I did see it. Question number 2. Which running back is the only active player to have scored 6 touchdowns in one game?
Good one. But I remember this, so the pressure's on.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on, Greg.
Had Grinch cleats.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to go
Sorry?
Uh-oh.
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon.
I mean,
He had a lot
he had
covered.
definitely
5?
5.
Might have 4 or 5.
Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Gosh,
I'm
you over here
sorry.
giving up false
I know.
hope.
I did it to Greg what Chris did to me earlier.
I think it was Camara on Christmas Day game.
He had the
Sorry,
Grinch
Greg.
cleats.
Yeah.
Sorry, Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
Well,
All
that
right.
officially ends our
Because we
game
really
today.
are out of questions now.
Big Five.
People, will you make it to the third question? I have like 20 third questions.
He's got no 1s and 2s now.
I have 20
Just
third
question
questions.
3s. All right, let's get to break. On the other side, it's Gravy's Big Five.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
So yesterday, welcome in Gwynn Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby. I let it slide because we were just kind of going through stories. I think it was our Big Five yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
And it was a big cap, as the young kids say. Big lie. Cap. From Rob Manfred.
Oh, the golden at
The
bat.
gold. It wasn't the fact that he brought up the. It was that there was a lot of buzz about this gold. He's a liar. I think he's lying. Nobody.
You think that he just made it up?
No. I think that they talked about it.
But
there was what buzz is he talking about?
Do you think this is his idea that he thinks
I
is
think
great?
This is typically how this goes, right? I recall hearing something of a similar buzz about the automated strike zone when they first pitched that 8 years ago. And it just hasn't come to fruition as fast.
A lot of people seem to think if they go with the golden at bat, which if you didn't know about it, it means you could bring up anybody you want
one
time a game,
Yeah.
no matter where they are in the batting order. If they go with it, most people I've read say that will be a step too far.
I think it will be.
That's it. I mean, I've given you the rest of the stuff. I can't give you that one.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we'll see. Major League Baseball, the problem is with Major League Baseball is they've had some success here with a couple of rules they've added.
Yeah, they're starting to get good to them
it's
now.
It's getting good to them now. They think everything is just new and inventive and awesome. We'll see. All right, Big Five to get to. Here's some traffic first.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Scratchers from the California Lottery. Give the gift of play this holiday. Plenty of stuff to keep you on your toes this afternoon, guys. Got a crash now on southbound 163, right around Mesa College. Everything is over to the right shoulder. Also, southbound 5, an accident clearing near Civic Center. Another crash cleared near the 163. Southbound side of the 805 before Governor. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows some sort of debris in that right lane. If you're looking for the perfect gift, give Scratchers from the California Lottery. With so many to choose from, you're sure to find the right gift for anyone on your list. Give the gift of Scratchers from the California Lottery. A little play can make your day. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. We got some college football playoff to talk about.
Chris, I think you might be happy to know Aaron Rodgers has a new Netflix doc coming out.
What time does that start, Tony?
What time does that start? Anytime you want, Chris.
Oh, that's right.
Anytime you want.
All right.
It looks like they're showing him doing some of that ayahuasca.
No.
Kind of am interested to see that process.
I kind of am too.
All right. Because we're
You guys
down
let me
for
know.
a
You guys let me know how it
carryover.
turns out.
Number 5.
I will, Chris. We got 2 pitchers who are going to need to be paid for the Padres after this upcoming 2025 season.
We already are on 2026 already?
Dylan Cease and Michael King. We have to start thinking about this, Tony. I don't know if the Padres can pay both.
We don't have to start thinking about
Tony,
it.
do you trade one to build up the farm system before you lose them?
My Lord.
Use it before you lose it?
Am I trading one of them to get? Are we no longer in the championship window?
No, we're in the championship
Okay,
window.
no, then I'm not trading them to get.
What
prospects.
if you lose both of them at the end of the year?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
It's very rare from you.
Wait, that took me a second.
I don't know. I don't think unless you're trading them to get somebody who is like on the cusp of being a dude. I don't know that, and I don't think you're gonna get a guy like that with a what is it called a rental.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. Tough spot. I think at this point, the answer is no.
All right. Chris, are you going to be trading anyone before the end of the season? Try to get
2016? 26?
2025 is the last year that Michael
Yeah, I
King and
get
Dylan
it.
Cease are under contract.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't sound like you're very happy about
No,
it.
I hate these questions. I don't even like them if it was this year. It's happening. It's not happening for another 10 months. Just Yeah. What did Tony say? No?
No.
I'll say
so.
no then, too. I have no further information.
All right. Sheep.
I didn't like the question.
I don't understand what's so wrong with the question.
You guys know what starts tonight?
I don't.
I'm
Tony
sorry, go
was
ahead. I'm
focused.
sorry.
Big five.
Sorry.
Big five.
Sorry.
I told Tony when
Hard
he walked
Knocks?
in today.
Yes.
Oh, it does. It does.
And we get to see the AFC North. That means we get to see Mike Tomlin.
And Mike Tomlin, there was a clip of him.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, he gets off the field at the end of the game. He's walking down the tunnel. He sees the NFL films person. He walks over to them. He goes, "Get this bleep off of me." And he starts ripping his microphone off. And he's just
Sorry,
livid.
Scrape.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
So apparently Tomlin was not really 100% into
in on this.
Yeah,
Well, I
so
mean, the
could make it
NFL
fun.
just kind of signed him up for a season-long
Exactly.
documentary
I
that
don't
they
think he
don't
likes
want to
it.
be a part of.
I don't think he likes it.
College football playoff, guys.
Okay.
New rankings are out. From 1, Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, SMU, Indiana, Boise State, Alabama sneaks back in at number 11. Miami falls to number 12. Arizona State is projected to get the number 12 seed right now. So Alabama with 3 losses is going to be making it in over Miami with 2 losses.
Right.
Chris, should Alabama get in?
It's close. Alabama's played a stronger schedule only because of the conference they're in. Miami gets hurt by this. They didn't play either Clemson or SMU, which are the other 2 best teams in their conference. That's not their fault, but they didn't play them. As Miami coach said, however, both our losses are by 1 possession. Alabama got blown out in a couple of games, most notably Oklahoma. This is razor thin. You know I'd rather go with Jesse Agler than Alabama. So I wish Miami got in, but they're not going to make it now. I mean, this is not going to change next week because Alabama and Miami don't play this week.
Right, they're off.
So
They're done.
Miami's done. They're not going to get in the playoff. Alabama is going to get in the playoff. And I told you, we knew this would happen. There's going to be an argument at 12 and 13. When you put 12 teams in, 13 is going to be left out. And that's what happened.
Tony?
I agree with Chris. As much as I want to go with the U, I mean, the proof is actually what we've seen. And that is, although Alabama wet themselves twice against 2 teams they shouldn't have.
They lost to Vanderbilt, who lost to Georgia State.
Right. Right.
Hey, that Georgia State program up and coming.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know, the fact of the matter is they still got big wins against, Georgia?
They beat Georgia.
And they got another one.
Yeah, they had another couple. I have to look at
I
their
can't remember.
schedule.
It's another one of the ranked teams that's in the top 12. They got wins against both. Whereas Miami, as Chris said, didn't play SMU, didn't play Clemson.
Alabama beat
And then-
South Carolina. That's what's getting them in ahead of South
right.
Carolina.
That's right.
So-
And South Carolina is probably, I heard somebody else say, South Carolina is
They're the
probably a
hottest
team that
team
no
going.
one wants to play
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
hot right now, but it's going to be too late for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's...
I have one team that I think should, if they get blown out in the conference championship game,
come up out of there.
They should consider dropping them all the way out
Ohio
and put
State?
Miami in. No, that Ohio State doesn't play this week. They didn't make the championship.
Oh, good
but
point.
Penn State did.
Absolutely.
And Penn State had a terrible schedule this year. Only one good opponent, and they lost to Ohio State. If Oregon blows them out, I think they ought to consider dropping.
There is a possibility they get blown out
I
in this
would
game,
drop
too.
them way out, and I'd get Miami in. It's also because I don't like Penn State or their coach, who, by the way, piled it on again. Did you see last week?
I got to say, I sent this to Scravy.
Okay, was the Maryland coach out of pocket? Because he was mad. He was pissed.
I didn't think he was out of pocket, but I liked Franklin's explanation, which was, listen, at that point I'm playing my 3s and 4s.
What
he
happened?
said.
I don't know.
Basically, they were beating Maryland pretty good
by 30,
and the 3s and 4s came in, and they scored again. And his point was, listen, those guys don't get to play football, and when I bring them in, guess what? They get to play football.
Yeah.
They don't have to come in and kneel. You still have your 1s on the field.
Yeah.
And so after hearing, because I was on Maryland's side at first, but after hearing the explanation, it made sense. Like, those kids, they deserve a chance to go out and play football too.
Sounds like Maryland was embarrassed.
Yeah, I think they were. Maryland coach let him have it too. But to Franklin's credit, he didn't push back. He kind of looked like he just was accepting what was coming his way.
Number 3.
Ever since Deshaun Watson of the Browns tore his Achilles, the Browns have been a pretty good team. Jameis Winston threw for nearly 500 yards last night with 4 touchdowns and 2 pick sixes, so 6 touchdowns, guys. The team looks reinvigorated, the team looks good, and Browns fans love this team again. Tony, is it as simple as Deshaun Watson isn't good anymore?
He certainly has made the case hard to think otherwise. You know, at first it was, he hasn't played football in a long time. Let's let him get knocked the rust off. And that's what, 3 years later now?
Yes.
So the rust, I would assume, has been knocked off at this point, and we're kind of looking at a shell of himself prior to.
He doesn't look like the same guy at all.
He doesn't look at all close to the
It's
same guy.
like he forgot how to play football.
And so, I mean, I think that's the only conclusion you can come to at this point.
Chris?
Troy Aikman brought it up last night, and he, I think, kind of thinly criticized the ownership for basically making them play Deshaun Watson when if they had gone to Winston earlier, they might have been able to save this season. So, yeah, I think everybody agrees.
Do we think I don't necessarily think Jameis Winston is the quarterback of the future, but obviously he's a better guy. Do you guys think he's the quarterback of the future for that team?
He's a little shaky for me.
I don't know if he's.
Throws a lot of interceptions.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He might be a stopgap
he's
for
good,
what they need. And if he shows in that time he can protect the football, maybe that can be a case. But I don't know that you just give him the keys now.
All right.
Number 2.
The NFL suspended Houston Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shire 3 games for repeated violations of player safety rules after his hit to the head of Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence on Sunday. John Runyon, the NFL's vice president of policy and rules, announced the suspension today, adding in a letter to Al-Shire that the league deemed the hit, quote, unacceptable, and that his, quote, continued disregard for rules governing player safety, quote, will not be tolerated. Chris, does the punishment fit the crime?
No. It does not. It's too much.
Oh,
I agree.
Really?
I think he should have been suspended. There's no question about it. I had to listen to the GM of the Texans, Nick Caserio, defend his player. And he did a hell of a job defending his player.
And so did D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico Ryans did not do a hell of a job. D'Amico Ryans looked like an idiot because he blamed the whole thing on Trevor Lawrence for not getting down soon enough. So D'Amico Ryans needs some work.
All right, you're right.
But Nick Caserio was on point. And the point he made that run me over was guys that have been suspended a bunch of times for this kind of thing only get 1 game. This is the very first thing that this guy's ever done wrong.
No, it's not.
Okay, according to the GM, it was.
He was lying to everybody.
No, he's been involved in. He used to play for the 49ers, and he used to be involved in some stuff.
He was just fine last week for a late hit.
Well, then this guy told a lying story, so I take it back. But from that angle, what I knew, listening to him, 1 or 2 games seemed better suited. But
Tony,
go ahead, Tony. Explain.
I was actually going a different route. This goes to something you and Scraby brought up a couple weeks ago as it pertained to Patrick Mahomes. And you're seeing it a lot. These quarterbacks are using the sideline and or waiting to the last second to get down. Now, I don't think that's the case with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is like 6'6". So it's not like he can just get down like Murray, for instance.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing for him to get down at quickly.
Yeah.
But this, what's the player's name?
Al-Shire.
Al-Shire. The fact that he's had these incidents before, I think, is what led to the 3-game suspension.
That's a big deal that I didn't know.
And in John Runyon's letter, it was pretty poignant language he was using.
Continued disregard.
Exactly. And so I think they spoke to it. However, I do think there is an issue starting to brew with these quarterbacks using this rule to their advantage. It started, what was that, Pittsburgh? Kenny Pickett. Remember he was doing the fake slide?
Yep.
We've seen Mahomes go to the sideline and then turn up.
Yep. If he ever gets called for if anything ever happens to him, he's gonna cry. He's gonna cry so hard.
The point is that now you are putting these defensive players who are already pretty handcuffed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Al-Shire is a different situation. He was a repeat offender, but
he launched.
I think this is something that's starting to brew because I mean, we've seen Mahomes get an extra 25, 30 yards, looking like he was going out of bounds and then turning it up.
Yeah, if I remember, you were completely okay with that.
I was okay with it. I was. But when you see a hit
5
like
seconds.
when you see Trevor Lawrence,
you didn't like it.
I hated it. We'll talk about. We have to do
Yeah,
number
go
one.
ahead,
We'll
go
talk
ahead.
more about this on the other side.
Okie doke. Here we go in the happy hour. Boys trying to hold on here. Scraby Chronicles coming up at 6 o'clock. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. It's been a fun ride for the first 3 hours today. We got a bunch to do. And Scraby, first of all, has to finish up today's Big Five, which ended in a heated controversy about Aziz Al-Shaair. Not heated between us, but it's getting heated between everybody out there. Everyone has opinion on this. 3 games too much. 3 games well-deserved. This guy's a bad dude. This guy's a good dude. It's the court. I mean, to me, you'd have to agree. D'Amico Ryan's coming out and saying Trevor Lawrence has got to get down earlier. Please. That just doesn't sound too good. I don't think it sounds good.
I get it.
Even if he's right, it doesn't sound good.
But Tom Brady...
The guy got his head taken off.
We were just watching this in the
Tom
break,
Brady
and the
was
clip
saying
is
the
like
same
4 or 5 minutes long, so we can't play it. But he said that he had to learn throughout his career.
Yeah,
he needed to get down earlier.
But
he also said... Sorry.
No,
that they need to penalize the offense and the defense. If there's a deke on the offense, like if they're too late into their slide, you need to penalize the offense for going too late.
It'll get them down sooner. That's for sure.
It will get them down sooner.
I don't think he could have got it. He got down. This guy, to me, came out of nowhere with a forearm shiv. I don't see blaming Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think that
he also went on to blame the Jaguars for all of the ensuing.
I think that to me was more egregious than him saying that
Evan Ingram had a good push into the back of Al-Shaair.
It was a good 2 pushes.
It was good.
And then the funny thing was Al-Shaair didn't know who was pushing him, so the first guy he made contact with, that face mask and that helmet, got locked up.
This is why
I'll say this: if that would have been C.J. Stroud, and the Texans didn't respond the same way the Jags did.
Imagine D'Amico Ryan.
D'Amico Ryan, maybe not publicly, but certainly privately, would have been airing those dudes out. So I thought that one was egregious. I just think that the Trevor Lawrence, this particular play is the wrong situation to talk about quarterbacks getting down too late. Because I don't necessarily think Trevor Lawrence got down too late. I think Al-Shaair was completely out of pocket and, hit him too late. And he should bear all the consequences that come with it, especially since he's a repeat defender. But I do think there is a conversation to be had about the quarterbacks needing to get down early. Not this situation, but in other situations.
I would love to see it, but I think I will die holding my breath. But if Patrick Mahomes makes one of those beelines for the sideline and then stops,
little whoop-de-doo,
and heads whoop-de-doos upfield for 20 more yards, and then they throw a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct on the Chiefs, that'll change things.
Yeah,
that would be one of the greatest things on earth.
You would love it, I know that.
I certainly don't want to see anybody in that stiff position that Trevor Lawrence is in order for that to happen.
Right.
But I think Tom Brady's onto something. You're going to have to start equally handing the penalty, because I get you're trying to make the game safer, but those 15 yards could mean a ball game one way or the other.
It meant an appearance in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs a couple years ago.
I think they may use this, though, going forward as what not to do. They're going to have this clip. They're going to say, listen, this is what Al-Shaair did. He launched. He put his elbow forward.
They already got those clips.
Yeah, but this is to me, it's textbook. Textbook penalty.
So they already got the clips. I'm saying for the slide part is what they need to take clips of.
They do, and they need to figure out how to call it, because that would be so hard to call. How do you know a guy's faking out of bounds?
Patrick Mahomes has been faking.
I know this,
twice.
Chris. I would definitely be on your side with this. I love this.
And this happens because there's a rule in place that they have identified that they can take advantage of.
Yep.
And they're going to continue to do it. And there's nothing illegal about it until there is.
Until you get a illegal shift that turns into a fumble that turns into the game is over.
Why did I know this was coming?
Went and watched that clip 100 more times and still don't see what you see.
I don't agree with Scrape. How do you not see what we see? It's right there in front of your eyes.
They are moving.
Thus, the play
we can't have this
dead.
conversation. We're seeing 2 different clips. Chris,
I saw the clip that you sent me.
I know, and I'm like, see, the guy is calling to stop the time. We don't need to go down this road again.
Finish question
The
number
5
one.
o'clock football hour is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, where B-Dubs is football. Visit Buffalo Wild Wings every Tuesday for buy one, get one half off traditional wings. Number one is about the Lions. And if you didn't know this, Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs posted a photo on social media of a teammate, and behind the teammate were all the code words for the Lions pass protection. They had Julia Roberts up there. They had Caitlyn Jenner up there. They had all these different names of like their protections.
Julia Roberts, and then underneath it said what that pass protection was?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
It basically laid out everything for opponents.
Okay.
The media actually notified the cannibal in a press conference.
I got something to say about this.
And he said he wasn't a fan, the cannibal said he wasn't a fan of that. He would like for his stuff to keep in-house. But a few days later, he said, quote, "I don't really give a crap. If we're going to lose because of code words, then we're not good enough anyway. I think we'll just post a whole freaking playbook and every code word we've got. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt us." Tony, when's that playbook coming out?
It's not.
Why say it then?
Because he has a team that's very confident right now. He doesn't need anything rattling their cage at all. I will say this. Pictures in the locker room are tough because everybody gets dressed at a different speed.
Yes.
And so, like, I can imagine, like, they probably turned towards that whiteboard because
it was a practice.
I thought you said it was in the locker room.
I didn't say anything about the locker room, but he was in like one of their
meeting rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was on the whiteboard behind him.
Yeah, I don't know why he decided to take a picture towards.
I don't think he realized it.
That there was a big whiteboard behind him.
I just don't think he realized it.
Yeah, I don't think he did it on purpose.
No, he definitely didn't.
Yeah, no, I don't think we'll see it. I think he's trying to, keep that whatever that confidence rolling that they have. I want to let them know there's nothing that's going to disturb that.
Chris?
Yes.
When are we going to see this?
We're not going to see the whole playbook, but I will say that when Vince Lombardi had the Packers, and it was a simpler time, they would pretty much yell from the sideline, "We're power sweeping to the left," and you could not stop it. It was just the best play in football. That is the same attitude Dan Campbell wants from his team, and I think that's what he's trying to say.
I can see that.
So
I could see that too.
He's certainly not saying, "I'm going to give the other team my plays."
Yeah,
and
we're
going to
throw a bomb, but he'd like his team to think if we tell them, we
still get it done, 100%.
That's what he's trying to
someone
tell
on the chat reminded me of something that happened in the Chiefs game that we didn't talk about. We have not talked about. They went to commercial break too early, and they had a kickoff that they had to redo because it was in the commercial break.
I tell you what, the NFL does not play around. We've had a game during the year start before the actual start time, and the cameras just kept rolling in baseball. In NFL, they don't play around with that. If somebody,
I thought this happened in the Super Bowl a few years ago, Scrape.
I think
I'm
it did.
pretty sure it did. Same exact thing.
Like, no, we got to re-kick. We're not back on TV yet.
Kickoff was a real play. Unlike now. Kickoff is kind of weird to me.
I'm trying to find the best article for this, but anyway, yeah, it's just whatever the Chiefs want, the Chiefs get.
All right,
stop.
I will agree with you that the officials concocted some crazy call against the Raiders.
Wasn't this Philly a couple years ago? Weren't they getting a bunch of calls?
But I still find, if like I said, I've said this before, if the league really wants the Chiefs to win, then the NFL's in deep trouble. I mean, if we ever found out that was all on, this isn't on the up and up, that's going to ruin the whole thing. I just can't believe they would risk that.
I don't think the NFL's actually involved. Just seems like everything always goes their way.
It's going their way.
It always
it went
does.
your way in the late 80s, Scrape. You weren't around to see Montana get every single call.
That doesn't help
Every single call. Joe Montana. Oh, we got to protect him. Same way they did, protected Tom Brady. It was the same thing for Joe. Joe was just, could do no wrong.
All right.
You had your moment in time.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Did you guys know that Kadarius Toney, by the way, is on the Browns now?
That makes sense.
Did not.
Oh, I just wanted to.
Didn't have that note
Had to land somewhere.
Did not have that note handy. I got one more thing on the college football playoff. Because we said, basically, we gave you who, like Miami or Alabama. We know that Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State, that's 4. Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, now Alabama, that's 8. Notre Dame is 9. There are 3 spots still up for grabs. The winner of SMU Clemson, the winner of Arizona State, Iowa State, and the winner of Boise State UNLV. But as I said earlier, I'd like one more spot to be up for grabs, and that is if Penn State gets blown out by Oregon. I think they should consider, with 2 losses, dropping them below Miami and letting Miami in. I don't know that they'll. I mean, they're number 3 right now, which is just way too high for a Penn State team that hasn't beaten anyone all year.
It's all about the brand
So I'm
name.
putting out. I'm doing this for my pal Jesse Agler and my Miami Hurricane fans, but I think Miami has a stronger resume than Penn State if Penn State loses a second game, especially if they
Agreed.
get blown.
Agreed.
The chat says that Dan Marino was a crybaby, so I'm serious. That's what the chat says.
Oh, Marino got every call. Michael Jordan got every call.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant got every
Yep.
call. Welcome to the world.
Yep.
Dan Hurley wants every call because he's a 2-time champ, and if he doesn't get it, he's going to throw himself on the floor like a 4-year-old.
He gets no respect.
No respect. What about Brock Purdy? When's he going to get a call?
He's not going to be the quarterback very much longer.
He's going to be on the streets soon.
Tony's making a change.
Tony just made the change. Kyle Gashioka, we know. He's no longer with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very sad. We're going to talk about it on the other side, though, I think.
We can do that if you like, but first we got to check some traffic.
I should have waited until traffic was updated. This is a really dumb move on my part. This is
Try
a
to
dumb
press
move.
us out of this.
Well, I was like,
this
we're on
break.
time. We're out of topics. Let's go. We'll get traffic later.
This open enrollment period.
518, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby. Kyle Higashioka is no longer a Padre.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do,
I'm going to go get a highlight of his
What a
probably
season he had.
best home run of the season.
I think that...
Which one was it?
His
game
playoff
winner?
one.
Oh, he had a game winner bottom of the ninth.
Do we remember who they played? Who that was against?
I think it was Oakland. I think it was right in the middle of the season there. So on a Wednesday or Thursday night, we're at the game. We're sitting up in the booth or in our box.
I don't think it was Oakland because Jackson Merrill hit the walk-off.
Okay, that was
them.
the weekend. It was whoever they played before.
It was somebody good.
You remember they had like 5 walk-offs in 7 days. It was during
Chat,
that.
help me.
It was during that.
Which game did he walk it off?
It was like a Wednesday night before the weekend, before the Oakland weekend. Anyway, I was sitting with my friend John Campbell, and John Campbell is a baseball fan but not fanatic. It was down to 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, extra innings looming, and John Campbell's like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to stay for the end. If it's going extra innings. I said, this guy at the plate, he doesn't. And then he looked up at the board, and Higashioka was hitting 160 at the time. And he goes, then we got this guy up. And I said, I know, but every now and again he hits a home run. And he made me look like a genius.
Here it is.
Next pitch.
2-2 from Alexander on the way. Hit in the air. Deep down the left field line. Towards the corner. Gonna go! Higashioka has homered in each of his last 3 starts. This one a walk-off. And the Padres survive it 4-3 against the A's. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon.
Was the A's.
Nice call.
That is a nice call. I thought Alexander was on the Dodgers, but now I can see him in the A's uniform.
He was on the Dodgers at one time, but he was on the A's this year.
Well, it's too bad we're going to miss Kyle Higashioka. I know people are mad. They're mad at the Padres. They think the Padres should have done something, should have stepped in. He's only making $13 million with the Rangers over 2 years. Padres could easily afford that, but Padres obviously didn't want to. They have something else in mind, and until we see what that is, it's unfair of us to be too critical at this point. It'll be a rant that would mean nothing. What if tomorrow they make a trade and they get 6-time All-Star catcher come in and whatever?
It could be a rant that doesn't age well.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Which is no bueno.
No bueno. You know who avoided a topic today? And he sits over here. Not over there. Over here.
Oh, we planned on talking about the Lakers.
What did I avoid?
We were going to talk about LeBron James.
Yes, because J.J. Redick is trying to pull back from the LeBron's going to play 82 games thing.
I didn't realize that LeBron is in a 0 for his last 19 3-point shots over the last couple of games. 4 straight goose egg games from behind the arc. He's down to 34% on the year. Now, LeBron probably deserves the benefit of the doubt, but people are they're going a little overboard, Tony, suggesting it's time for him to get rest, all of that stuff. What's your solution, Coach Gwynn?
I think you should listen to LeBron James.
Yeah,
so
right.
If he tells you he needs some rest, get the man some rest. He's 39, pushing 40.
Yeah.
If he tells you he's good to go, I mean, at this point, there's nothing to not believe that he's good to go. We see players consistently sit out of games for, a myriad of different reasons.
And, Scraby, before you tell LeBron to sit out, you're the guy who gets the maddest when they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And he would be sitting out with no injury. So, I mean, what are we?
I was going to try to defend myself, but I got nothing.
By the way, this is how this all started. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, that old guard at the Spurs. This is when Pop really started this in the league. He was sitting Duncan to get him through the year. Tony Parker, sitting these guys at different times during the year, and it started a trend. You ever notice that it's always like the smart teams that are the teams that are always
they do it first.
They do it first, and then everybody else follows.
About it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Until everybody else starts doing it. Well, 19 in a row is not, LeBron-like, but
No,
It's not impossible.
He's
He's gone 4 games in a row without a 3. That's true. But, I think Tony's right. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. Lakers last night, besides D'Angelo Russell, 2 for 26.
That's probably
That's
the
ugly.
bigger issue.
And they only scored 80 points the whole game. Tonight, the Bucks are at halftime with 78. So that was a tough night last night for sure. For your Lakers.
You guys feel better now?
Yeah,
Not really.
we wanted to get it in.
We got the Lakers in.
We got them in. We talk about it when they're going good. We got to be on both sides. It's only fair.
I think we mainly talk about them when they're going bad. But that's just my opinion.
No.
That's
Here's how it
because-
goes. Tony brings them up when they're good.
Yeah,
we bring them up
absolutely.
when they're bad.
Well, I bring them up when they're good because we often are talking about them when they're bad, and they've been bad. So
Adam has a good point on the chat. Not our Adam. It took LeBron 16 shots to score 10 points.
and that's so unlike LeBron. Usually,
It
if
is.
he's getting 16 shots, he's in the 38, 40 range.
But
so
he's still keeping his streak alive, right?
he got
10 points or more.
10 points or more.
Which is like a
He got
million
there.
games in a row now.
Ooh, I got some numbers for Juan Soto, guys.
Numbers
Being offered, the offers, the pitches that teams are giving
they're
him.
coming in hot.
Yes. Apparently, they have now crossed over $600 million. The Mets,
I saw that last
the
week.
Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Dodgers are all in. Ken Rosenthal.
Yankees were under 600 last time I heard.
And now the bidding has crossed over $600 million. So
It doesn't say who though. It
no,
just
it doesn't
says-
say who. It just says that
So
teams are offering.
it
that.
sounded.
Why does it matter what the money is? Juan Soto said the money doesn't matter. He's only going where he can win.
That is true. He did
Well, I
say
mean,
that.
You can make up a case that the Blue Jays can win, the Mets can win, the Yankees
if
can
they
win.
have him. Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Yeah, he kind of changes things.
I'm just reading now, and I didn't want to say this earlier because I wasn't sure, but the Yankees did offer more. Or
I know
went
they
back
upped
to the
their. I know they
table.
upped their deal, but nobody knows if it was supposed to be around $550 the first one.
You're the Yankees. Find the extra $50 million.
So
you got that in your couch.
I'm glad you bring that up because we are out this way. We are often focused on the Dodgers.
What couch exactly is it?
Steinbrenner's couch.
Oh, his
There
office.
was a lot of
okay.
loose change in that
He's got
couch.
50 mil just sitting there.
I'm just saying, why is it that a team like the Yankees don't seem to be approaching it the same way the Dodgers are? They got the same type setup. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
They got a lot of money. They got their own TV. Now, there's a little different. I don't think they own all of their
I think they own like a quarter.
they order 25% of it. So, I don't know. It's all a little out there.
All I
right
can
now.
say is keep him as far away from San Diego and playing the
Yeah, if
Padres
he's in
as
the
much
American
as possible.
League, good.
Yeah, you're
Don't
only going to have to see him once a
see
year.
him one time.
And he'll hit some home runs, and we'll all complain, blah, blah,
If
blah,
he
blah,
plays
blah.
for the Yankees next year, we won't have to see him at all.
They're
The
not playing
Padres
the
go to
Yankees?
New York next year.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It switches back and forth
The
every
team
year.
will see him.
I
We,
gotcha.
the fans, won't
We
see
won't
him.
have to.
do we
see
know
him.
when that is? I know we already
this new
kind
schedule
of
up?
know. Yeah, the new
I
schedule's up.
I refuse to look at it until we get to January.
It's a little early to look at it.
No, I just want to
Agreed.
see what. Okay, they're playing the Yankees in New York Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Time-
first
what
week of
time of year?
May.
Ooh, it's gonna be cold
May?
in New York.
Chris,
the
you want
first-
to take a trip? You want to go to Yankee Stadium again? I forgot you were just there.
I've made so many trips lately.
My man is punishing
I'm
himself.
not going anywhere for a while.
Talked about the college football playoff.
Sorry, one more thing
ahead, it's
about the Steinbrenners. Hal is not his old man, meaning
What?
he won't spend like his old man.
Clearly, that's what I was getting at. His old man, he would be taking this as a personal diss from the Dodgers if they kept up topping him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they needed better leadership.
I think they're doing all right, dog. College football looks like the SEC might find their way with 4 teams in. Chris, we talked about it before we came on the show. We talked a little bit about it earlier as well. That Miami loss has put them on the outside looking in. I know my man Jesse Agler was losing his mind watching that Syracuse game on Saturday.
Oh, they were way up, too.
Yeah.
21-0. Look, they've lost 2 of their last 3, but as Mario Cristobal, their coach, says, they were both one-score games. So we're close to being undefeated. They're not. Alabama's lost 3. They're not going to pass Alabama now because Alabama's ahead of you this week. They can't change that because neither team plays. But Penn State does play this week. And if they get crushed, drop them out of they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, I say.
Yeah.
I don't. Would you think that they drop them from 3 all the way out?
No, but I think they should consider it if they
I
really
think that-
take a look at it, because they and Miami would both be 2-loss teams, and Miami has a better resume than Penn State would if that happens.
And what they're going to hold against Miami though is that they didn't get to their conference championship. I bet.
But Penn State didn't really either.
Penn State's playing Oregon.
Penn State's playing Oregon.
I think the blowout has to be a part of that scenario for them to drop out.
I said it has to be a blowout.
Yeah.
But consider Penn State played not Indiana and not Oregon during the regular year. So they really got lucky. They didn't
It's
even
almost
play
lucky
Michigan.
for Indiana that they didn't have to play Penn State. I don't know how they would fare against Penn State.
I'd take Indiana.
I'd take Indiana too.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after they looked as bad as they did against a team like
Penn
Ohio
State
State?
looked
You saw
as
one
bad.
game that Indiana played.
That's
It was
true.
not their best.
That's true.
Penn State got beat by Ohio State on their home field.
I'm happy Indiana is still in it, though.
They will be.
I heard Ross Tucker talking about...
Ross Tucker. I haven't heard that name in a while.
He's on Westwood 1. He was calling the 49ers game, and he was just crushing the 49ers the entire time. But how can I argue
That's probably why
against
you
that?
remember his name.
He was talking about, because it was snowing, and he was like, how about some of these games in the college football playoff being played in the home cities of these teams?
I'm pretty sure he stole that idea from, what's my man that Chris can't stand on ESPN?
Everyone?
No. Everyone, Feinbaum. No, the kicker. The punter.
For who?
Orlovsky?
A
The
punter?
Punter.
Kicker? Come on.
ESPN kicker.
He's the new biggest star on ESPN.
Chris, what are we missing?
No, we're having a brain
Chat's
cramp.
got you. The chat's going to tell you.
Yeah,
Did he
I don't
play
know.
for an NFL
He played
team?
for the Colts.
Oh, McAfee.
McAfee.
Punter.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
He said that.
Very good.
He said that exact same thing. That he thought that they should. I think he was saying that they should reseed it at some point because you wanted to see some of these hot SEC teams go to cold, Big Ten spots or vice versa.
Right.
Because it's contrary to belief. Some guys the teams that play up in the cold, they don't necessarily do well in the heat sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that would be an added element. It just makes it super complicated with still got your bowl games involved.
Yeah.
So there's only so many home games are available.
But I do love that weather may come and play a part in this whole thing.
It'll be fun.
I should credit Pat McAfee because Ross Tucker was making so much fun of my team. He also, I don't think he made fun of Fred Warner, but he was talking about how Fred Warner was warming up with no shirt on and shorts in the snow.
I saw that.
And then he had to leave the game because he got cramps. What is with the athletes and the cramps lately?
Not
There's been more cramping
hydrating
in
well enough.
sports. How do you get cramps in the cold?
That's a good question. You're still sweating in the cold.
That's true.
You know,
It's more
and
dangerous.
it's probably you're not really. You probably have to drink, room temp water because you're not drinking cold water at that point.
Did you know at hypothermia you start to get warm before
I did know
things
that.
get real bad for you? So if
you
you're
start feeling warm, you're like,
and you want to, you're like, man, I got to take off my jacket in this snowstorm. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Let's get to break.
By the way, real quick. Oh no! I had
What
one of those.
the
I
heck
had one of those
just happened?
because I had something really good to say,
you
and then by
forgot?
the time I jumped in, lost it. So go to
Fleeting.
Yeah.
Miles Byrd on the other side. If you missed it, more Gwynn and Chris.
Oh no!
Shane Gillis, live.
All right. Luckily for my voice, only one final segment today. Super Bowl winning coach Mike Holmgren, former Packer star receiver Sterling Sharp, not Shannon, finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class was announced today. The Sharp is in the seniors category. It's an interesting category. One of the guys in this category, I didn't remember this, was a guy named Jim Tyrer, big offensive tackle for the Chiefs back in the old days when they won the Super Bowl IV with Hank Stram as coach. Jim Tyrer his selection comes with controversy. He died in a murder-suicide of his wife. Wow. Did not know that. But I guess people really felt strongly about him making the Hall of Fame. So he's still in the running for it, along with Sterling Sharp and a few others. Holmgren is in there as in the coaching category. And Robert Kraft, as it was reported last month, is not one of the finalists as a contributor.
Man, they holding him.
Yeah.
Well, they should.
Well, they went with a guy named Ralph Hay, who nobody knows who that is, except for the fact he was one of the owners of the first team, the Canton Bulldogs, and recognized for organizing the first meeting that formed the NFL.
What gets you in as an owner?
I don't know. But if this isn't, Robert Kraft isn't in it, I don't know how many owners are in, but he's not.
That's a tough one right there.
Yeah.
Sterling Sharp, though, I love that. I mean,
he was dominant.
I remember at one time as a young kid, the best receivers in the league were Jerry Rice and Sterling Sharp.
Sharp was a distant second, but that
was
wasn't his fault.
It was those two, though.
He was second?
No, he's a distant second to Jerry
but
Rice.
I'm asking because I was a little too young to remember
He was that
Sterling
good.
Shepard.
If that neck injury didn't
Sharp,
derail his career.
I mean, Favre threw to Sharp. That dominated for many years with the Packers.
Believe me, I know. They beat my team a lot as a kid.
Yeah. Shannon Sharp is who everybody knows, but Sterling Sharp, I think, was better.
He was better, for sure. And Shannon would tell you that.
Yeah.
That his brother was better. I thought he was kind of like T.O. before. He was like a big, a strong wide receiver that could kind of just do what he wanted to. He could just move you out the way.
One quick, I'm changing sports real quick, but one quick congratulations. Saw a clip. Keyshawn Johnson, now with the Miami Heat, got his first NBA hoop last night.
Oh, nice.
So he's on the board.
Like to see, even if he didn't finish as an Aztec.
Right, he still kind of qualifies.
He was on the team that got the farthest.
He was in the He was in the championship game, and that's going to hold my attention. All right, you want to get to our interview of the day?
I think we got to stretch a little longer.
No, I think we're good.
We're good? All right.
Miles Byrd, speaking of the Aztecs basketball, now ranked in the top 25. Miles Byrd is the leader of this team. He is certainly one of the reasons why they are catching our notice again. Let's hear it after we check traffic, of course.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Still seeing a lot of activity on our roads this early evening, guys. Hit and run crash up on 163 before the 8. It's been moved out of lanes. They're traveling on northbound 15 right around Adams Avenue. There's a collision that's been moved over to the right shoulder. Eastbound 52 accident near the Summit. Appears to be in the center divide. Also going to find on the northbound side of the 15 right past Bernardo Center, a stalled vehicle very close to that slow lane, so please take it extra carefully there. You can move over a lane if it's safe to do so. That's North 15, just past Bernardo Center. And collision on eastbound 78 before Rancho Santa Fe. Couple cars involved there in the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick. Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Aztecs, number 24 Aztecs, back in action.
Too low, Tony.
It is too low. It is too low.
Our next guest is going to do something about that.
No doubt about it. He's already done a lot of work here in the short season to this point.
Yeah.
Miles Byrd joins us here, guard, 6'7" guard for the Aztecs. Miles, how are you, my friend?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Of course, sir.
I'm trying to figure out where we start. Let's just start at the last game. You guys are going up against a tough Houston team. Just from a physicality standpoint, you guys matched them all game, but when it came down to crunch time, the ball was in your hands, and you made a couple nice plays, including a reverse lefty layup. Just talk about that game and getting to that point in the game where you just knew it was time for you to do work.
Oh, yeah, I think when you play in a game for so long, I think I logged 37 minutes of that game. You kind of get more and more comfortable as the game goes on. You start to realize what they're giving and what they're not giving. And, I knew they were blasting the ball screens the whole entire game. So once I blasted, I just went back to where the big was trying to get back to our big, and he happened to not see me yet. So it gave me the opportunity to Euro step and get to the right side of the hoop. But I loved how we came out and played against a big physical Houston team. They're notorious for being a defensive rebounding team just like us. And I wouldn't say just because they're a power conference that they get more respect, but I think on the national side they get a lot more looks than us. So yeah. I'm glad we were able to kind of show that we're the same exact type of brand, and that's what our program stands for.
Yeah, we've been more successful than they have in March, too, so let's not forget that. Miles Byrd is with us. Miles, how do you guys get the belief that you can go beat the number 6 team in the nation when you're just coming together as a squad? To me, you have to believe you can win before you can win. I know you guys came home after the Oregon game and then went back to Las Vegas. Take us through those 48 hours and what the coaches said, what you guys said amongst yourselves going into that Houston game to say, we're not going to back down.
Yeah, I think, one, for us, I don't think that there's anybody in our organization that had a single thought that we were going to lose the game. We're a confident group. We're young, got a little bit of swagger to us. So I think every single time we step on the court, I know if we have our group together, we think that we have a great chance to go win a game. But I think coming home for, looking at it, my parents live in Vegas. Taj, Pharaoh's family's from Vegas. So, at first I was a little frustrated that we were leaving, that we weren't staying in Vegas. Like, I wanted to be with my family. They were all out there. My grandma was out there and stuff. So it would have been some good family time. But looking back at it, I think we benefited the most from it just because, when we were in the MGM the first few days during the tournament, I didn't even see the sun outside. Like I didn't step outside not one time because you're walking straight from your room down to like the little bottom of the floor where the arena is.
Yeah.
So we're staying inside the casino the whole time, and I think it was just beneficial for us to get back to our own beds, have a good team meal on Thanksgiving, and get some team time. Everybody else was still stuck in Vegas, not leaving their hotel, I would assume. So we were able to kind of get more refreshed, and we looked a lot more fresh than a lot of other teams that ended up staying out there. You
really did. It was noticeable in the game against Houston as well. Aztec guard Miles Byrd joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Miles, I was unfortunate. You mentioned swag. I unfortunately missed the interview last year, but I went back and listened to it. And one of the things that stood out in that interview last year was you just seemed like a dude that was really confident and was just waiting for your opportunity. You fast forward to this year, and some injuries have kind of, I think, thrust you a little bit further to one of the guys that I think Dutch looks to. Where did that confidence come from, and how have you been able to really grow it into this role that you're in this year, which is a lot different than the role you were in last year?
Yeah, I think confidence just really stems from hard work. I've been around basketball my whole entire life. My dad was a Division I basketball coach, so I was pretty much born in the game, and I feel like I've watched so much basketball that it's hard for me not to be confident. I know what I'm capable of on the court. I know what my teammates are capable of, and I think we just go out there and we execute the game plans that our coaches give us, which is, normally crystal clear and perfect for our opponent. And when you have a good preparation and you have a lot of hard work that you put in, it's hard not to be confident.
It's a left-handed thing, Tony. You wouldn't understand.
Definitely,
there you
lefties
go.
do it better.
There you go, buddy. Miles Byrd is our guest. Miles, at the end of last season, and you guys get the Sweet 16, and then you say goodbye, to Jaden LeDee and everybody else. How are you feeling and thinking about this upcoming season? And then, Dutch and everybody goes out, gets all these guys to come in. BJ Davis now has emerged.
Yeah,
how did you think?
Amazing first year.
Right. Yeah. How did you think then, and how do you think now?
I think that mentally it was never any worry about what we were going to look like on the court. I've said this multiple times the past few weeks. Like we're a coach Brian Dutcher-led team, and I've been fortunate to be here for 3 summers, so I know the type of preparation that summer is looking like. And I know we're going to be a good team every single year. So for me, it was mostly just the fact that I had just lost some of my closest friends that I've been in college with, been away from my family with for the past 2 years. So I would say that was the biggest adjustment for me, trying to build stronger connections with the new guys. But I think we're molding super well, and I think the sky's the limit for what we got going on over here. Ranked top 25. If you would have told us that this summer that we wouldn't have Reese for this early stretch in the year, and we're still a top 25 team. A lot of people probably look at you crazy. I would have looked at you with a smile and been like, I knew that.
And there's that confidence once again. Miles Byrd joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Miles, you talked about that preparation that you guys have, and it seems like Dutch keeps us at bay every year. Wait until the calendar turns, and that's when we'll be playing our best. I think you guys have kind of changed that expectations after this past weekend. You beat Creighton by 18. You beat a team like Houston. Does that shift anything from you guys thinking, or this is just business as usual? And not only that, this could be considered somewhat of a trap game after going from Houston to playing Fresno State here. How do you guys regroup and kind of set your sights on Fresno State here tomorrow?
Yeah, I think for me, just helping out the newer guys, we got some guys who come from conferences where the bottom teams normally are teams that aren't very competitive. But in the Mountain West, no matter where you're playing at, any away game, any home game is going to be a competitive game. So just kind of remind these guys that this isn't the easy one coming up tomorrow. Fresno's gotten a week to prepare for us, so that they're going to come in that game ready, especially on their home court. But yeah, I think we just have a mindset as a team that we might get that national recognition now, being ranked top 25, but we still haven't earned anything. We still got a lot of work to do this season, still got a lot of games this season, and every game is getting us ready for ultimate goal, which is March Madness. So I think just come in every day without an ego and, just get to work.
Yeah, he sounds like a guy that plays on a really successful team. He does. They're taught well. The coaches, we have these guys on the coaches. We get where they're coming from, and the message seems to get through. How much motivation did you guys get, if any, on being picked 4th in the league, on being not ranked at all, not thought of at all? You talked about it. Houston gets so much more play. San Diego State goes to the final game, Sweet 16, and then everybody says they're going to finish 4th. Do you guys think about that, or do you use that? Does Dutch and stuff use that?
You hear about it. I heard about it a good amount of times, and some of the interviews I was doing early in the year, they would ask me about it. But I wouldn't say we come into practice every day with a marker on the whiteboard saying they picked us ranked 4th. I think we're very confident in the group that we have. I think we know that when we attack every day that we're only going to get better. So yeah, you can look at it a little bit, but at the end of the day, I don't think that flies through my head any single time on a game day.
Well, Miles, you guys are off to a terrific start. Game tomorrow. We certainly we'll continue to love watching you guys get better and better as this year goes along. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll catch up soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Miles. Thanks.
Miles Byrd.
Miles getting it done on the court and on the show.
Great interview.
Thank you. Scrappy?
Not. I was saying Miles.
Oh, you're just giving him all the credit for a good interview?
Okay, Chris, you set him up for great answers.
Tony. How about throwing a little compliment both our ways. I know that'd be tough for you.
It's opposite day.
Give it a shot.
It's opposite day, huh?
Yeah, it is opposite day.
That Cleveland-Washington game between the best team in the league and the worst. 21 points in the third quarter for the Cavs. Not as many as I thought it would be, actually.
What's the score? 21 what?
They're up by 21. 86-65.
Oh, they're up 21.
Yes, sir.
And the spread was
Yes,
22?
No, the spread was 16. Nice try. He who picked Washington.
The spread was 22?
Didn't I get 50 in that game?
You caught me on that one right there.
That would be Tony. I thought the spread was 50.
The spread was 28. What are you talking about?
I'd like to change my pick. The Heisman Trophy is down to 2 guys, apparently. The Boise State coach, by the way, threw some fire today.
Who do you throw fire at?
At Colorado. I mean, he's tired of Colorado and Dion getting all the, taking the stage and talking about his guy.
Don't coach at Boise State.
So Boise State's got his. And, right.
point.
Well, Boise State guy said slyly, after making a case for his player, etc., Genty, the running back, I think you ought to at least play in a conference championship game to win the Heisman. That was his shot at Colorado, which didn't make it.
I don't like any, honestly, of the politicking of it. I think it's just like...
Wouldn't it be nice if they just voted?
Could you just vote? And for those who... I hate the politicking trying to get in the playoffs, too. Like, I get it. You got to do it, I guess. But it's just like all you guys up here giving your best political college football speech and why your team should be the one. I just think it's tired.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
What did Colorado do to support Travis Hunter, Scrape?
Well, I didn't know this. I guess you send out like marketing materials on the players that are
ready
for
to
it.
go in on them.
Yeah, he was, but they do that. But Colorado took it to another level.
Colorado did. They put together. If you go to Dan Orlovsky's Twitter at Dan Orlovsky7 because he posted
Dan's
this.
Twitter.
It says Heisman on the front, and when you open it, it has some cool pictures, and then it has some cool graphics and papers promoting Travis Hunter for Heisman.
Can I ask you a question? Have they announced
Shedeur
finalists?
Sanders. I don't think so.
No. So you can. This is totally within the borders. Then
San Diego State is welcome to send something out promoting Marquez Cooper if they'd like.
Why can't Travis Hunter be the only one?
And by the way, Marquez Cooper did make all conference today,
Yes,
which is a hell of an achievement on a team that went 3-9.
That's true.
The 2 running backs are him and Genty of Boise State. So pretty good for you, Marcus Cooper.
Shout out to Marcus Cooper.
Buffalo Wild Wings, me.
This 5 o'clock hour was presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, where B-Dubs is football. Visit Buffalo Wild Wings every Tuesday. Buy one, get one half off traditional wings. I'm going to go get some wings and some tea and lemon.
Add some honey to it.
A little honey as well. We'll be back tomorrow.
A tablespoon of shot of honey.
Thank you, sir.
I heard a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Scraby's coming up with the Chronicles next.